Hello, folks, and hey, Bear. Welcome to the Nateland podcast. Nate Bargatze, Brian Bates, Aaron Weber, and Dusty Slay.
All right. Hey, life is busy, and your well-being is important. Athletic Greens makes it so easy to get the vitamins you need every day with just one scoop. Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Visit athleticgreens.com/Nate for a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. That's athleticgreens.com/Nate.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming. I don't know. I'm glad you're here. I was going to show you this one book, Somebody Feed Phil the book. So if you watch any Somebody Feed Phil, the Netflix series, it's out now. Phil Rosenthal, just a wonderful dude, and loves food, loves it. We went to, what was the place in
Mais de la Vida. I don't know how to say the first word. MAIZ.
It was awesome. So if you watch this season, I am on the episode when they come to Nashville, and we go eat at this place, and it was really cool. Like it's a in East Nashville, and they have like a taco bar, a taco truck out front, and then you just go eat inside. It's like a bar. Which is, I thought was a very smart idea for those two things to combine, like to be like, all right, we just serve drinks here. If you want food, you go out there. And I mean, the truck was unbelievable.
I was watching this show with my wife, and I didn't know you were on it.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, he's just eating with you. It's like, my God.
It's crazy. Yeah, it was super fun, and they were awesome. And I got no tomatoes, no onions. But it was the best. Phil's the best. He loves food, man. It's like the real deal. Like it's crazy. Like when I'll text him, like if you go somewhere, like he'll just be like, where are you at on the road? And you tell him, and he's like, all right, go to this. And he knows everywhere, and it's awesome. And I mean, this show is obviously a big hit. It's a cool show. It was exciting. He asked me to be on it. So go check that show out. Check out his book, Somebody Feed Phil the book.
Phil's a good name for a guy that likes to eat, right? Because you fill your belly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. That really worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phil likes food.
Full would be a better name.
Full, yeah. You don't hear it full, though. You don't hear that a lot out here.
Is anybody named Full?
I don't know, but imagine your kid was named Full.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, I bet he is.
Full.
Yeah. He's full.
He could not be fat. If
Right,
your name
right.
is Full, you'd have to really stay in shape.
But you also couldn't be too skinny because he'd be like, I'm full. And I'm like, no, you're not.
No, you're not. It'd be a lot of, I think it's going to be tough for you to not have jokes. You would have to be a specimen.
Right.
You'd have to be, like a UFC fighter type specimen for people not to make fun of you.
I've gotten that a lot. Waiting tables, I go, hey, I'm Dusty. I'll be taking care of you. I've had people like brush me and be like, no, you're not. I'm like, oh, God.
And then you laugh because you want the tip.
Right.
I haven't heard that before.
They do it that quick. That's pretty, it's kind of.
Yeah, I've had it.
You got some people that are just like on top of it.
Yeah.
Been waiting for that.
And they could have caught me on a dandruff day to where I'm like, well, I don't know. Is dandruff dust?
I don't know. Dust for the hair.
Yeah, a bit of a dusting on the
Isn't
shoulders.
that all dust is dead skin cells?
That's what I always heard.
Oh, I don't know.
But then if you leave a house that hasn't been there for a month, nobody's been in it for a month, you come, it's dusty.
Yeah. Like that's what I've always heard. Like you've been talking about it. You go, that's what I've always heard.
Whenever dust comes up.
When dust comes up. Yeah.
I've read a thing or two.
So we're back. We were here last week. Got a week off, which is nice. Thanksgiving this week. It's exciting.
What's your plans?
Laura knows the plans. I think we're here though. I think it's like a lot. It's her family, and so it's. I think we're kind of here, which is nice.
Not working this weekend?
I'm going to no, I'm not. Going to be at the Tennessee Vandy game, which nice. You're going to be with me.
Yep.
Super excited. Yeah, it's going to be. I tell you what.
Well, after that
tell you what,
South Carolina game,
Don't get me going.
after
Dude.
that South Carolina game too. I mean, it looks good for I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Tennessee had a
Tennessee's
big
still
win
good.
over the weekend.
We
too.
beat Florida.
oh, I did not even see that. Wow, that's awesome.
We beat Florida
Wow.
at home, and they rushed the field.
Very politely.
The way
Yeah,
they
very
rushed
politely.
the field was so
Single
funny.
file.
It was like,
Well, there's a lot of steps
they
there.
were
Yeah.
being so polite about it.
We're not, we're not a problem.
We're not
Just come
animals.
down. We're not animals.
You don't
There's
hear
gotta be
about
order.
you don't hear about Vanderbilt being a rowdy place.
No.
That's not something you hear.
No, it's not. I mean, look, we want to get it rowdier, but it's they went down the stairs and they ran the field and it was fine. They fined them $250,000, which is insane.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's insane. Like you want to it's just infuriating to be like we're never rushing the field. We do it in like almost a way it looks like that's how you have to exit. And then you're going to charge us like the same you charge Tennessee or any of these other teams that just swarm the field.
Was it-
People getting fights and people might get hurt.
Yeah.
Was it the same amount?
It said 250. I don't know if it's the same amount. I know we got charged.
Yeah.
It's hard to even call it rushing the field if it's orderly.
And
I
I feel like they just came out. They were like $250,000. They gave it to us like that, and everybody else they're like, well, I don't know. Okay, I guess we got to do it. Like it's.
I agree. Didn't even tear the goalpost down. Like, it's just the easiest way to exit the
probably
stadium.
helped pick up trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes me so mad. That it's so insane to be like, just let you just
So-
charging everybody. Like what are you paying that to?
The NCAA, is that who?
You write a check
I think
to
it's
the you
SEC.
write.
Oh, it's
Oh,
the SEC.
you go here,
so.
SEC. Dear, you write
Yeah,
that
the
on the
SEC
thing?
Do you write
was
SEC or
struggling.
do you spell it out? Southeastern.
I'd probably write SEC. Write SEC, then they go, thanks for the $250,000. And then what do they do with that?
They're really struggling.
Yeah.
The SEC is.
In the
Yeah.
memo, you put orderly walked on the field.
Yeah.
yeah. It's been a
What,
tough. tough go
where
for
is
the
that money
SEC.
going? Does it go to something? I hope it goes to something that's
Just back to
Good.
SEC.
Ugh.
Be nice if it went to the janitors that cleaned up the
Yeah.
field. You know, if they got a nice bonus.
I would be on board with that.
Yeah.
All the money should go to the workers that
Mhm.
have to like literally work that day.
Yeah.
They get something. They're rooting for it.
I don't think there was
I
a lot
agree.
of work cleaning up your field afterwards, though.
No,
You
but
know?
I mean, you got to go through the stands and get all like those people. Like
Yeah.
I'm saying, like it should go to regular people.
Mhm.
Like it's like, I mean, these fines are just all. It's just like everybody's rich and they're just fining each other. So you're at everybody that's just there is like, well, they learned their lesson, and you're like, no, they're just holding on to that money until it goes back to that. Till it comes back, like it's all just whatever. It's insane. We won them.
The last time we beat Florida at home, 1988.
Oh, maybe it wasn't 250. Was it 250?
It was
Yeah.
$250,000. Yeah.
Well, I only watched the highlights of the Tennessee South Carolina game, and my goodness, I don't even think about. I've been to some South Carolina games, but I don't even think about that team. And they came out hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited. Look, I mean, we'll see what happens next week. I think we have everything on our side. Like it's a successful season in my eyes for Vanderbilt. We've scored a lot of points. We haven't won all the games, but we've won. We're on a win streak, an SEC win streak. We haven't been on that in a long time. I'm loving
Haven't-
Clarkley. It's
Haven't won an
very
SEC
fun.
game in years, right? Until this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Well, I'm
Well,
just
we have
saying
to
that's how
harp on it.
well that's how good it is.
Yeah.
That's how good this year is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and Tennessee's down, and I don't know. It's fun. It'll be fun. I mean, it's I'd be so happy.
I mean, 2 weeks ago, I'm like, Tennessee will beat us by 50. And
Yeah.
now you're like, I don't know.
We score points.
Things
I mean,
can happen.
obviously Tennessee's great,
They
but
are.
quarterback just got hurt, which
Mhm.
that
Out for the
stinks for that
season,
guy. I
right?
know
Yeah.
that stinks for
Yeah,
that
it's a
guy.
bummer.
It is.
But we'll see how it goes. I was at Penn State, saw Coach Franklin.
Really?
Yeah, went by Penn State, saw their facilities, and got to say hi to him and stuff. And he was very nice. He was like, "Congrats, man!" And
Does he know you from Vanderbilt days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did shows for him. My dad did show. I mean, he is just a extremely charming person. Very personable. Is that like
Mm-hmm.
you get it? Like how this dude could walk into your living room and you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Like the way all the crew I'm with, like he just, how you doing? I'm James Frank. He would go up to him and talk to them all. And, the fact that he's like, congrats on your career, it's like you could, there's part of you, like, you want to be like, hey, I don't know if you remember me or not. He's like, oh, when your dad did you, like, he was just awesome. And I got to see him real fast. And then they gave us a tour of the facilities, and it was great.
That's cool.
It was great. Yeah.
I remember when we were at the Vandy, Tennessee game when Vandy beat Tennessee and you went on the field and told Derek Mason you loved him.
Yeah. Said I love you.
Got a little
I
awkward.
still do love him.
Wow.
I love them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's good guys. It's like you just meet people and you're like, yeah, we're all just good guys. I met Wisenhunt. He's at Penn State.
Really?
Yeah. And it kind of was like off guard when I met him. I was like, because he coached at Vandy, I think, too. Or
Like years ago?
maybe. I think I said Vandy. I was not thinking the Titans head coach.
Yeah.
Because it just, I was just kind of caught off guard. And then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and then, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he was cool. I just talked to him real fast. But, it was fun.
I'd forgotten, and this is back in my heyday. So I worked this weekend with Marty Simpson, who was the kicker at South Carolina. He was an All-American high school kicker, maybe the number one kicker in the country in high school. He kicked a 61-yard field goal in high school.
Wow.
And stayed at home, went to South Carolina, and he said his freshman year in college was when they changed the rules where kickers can't kick off tees. And I forgot that, but they used to have, even on field goals or extra points, they had a little block out there where they would kick off. And then the NCAA said kickers are getting too good, so let's make them kick off the ground. And he said he was never quite the same. He was very average in college, by his words. But I'd forgotten that they used to have a block out there.
Yeah,
that's too bad to
for the
change it
kickoff or the
first
field
year.
goals too.
Field goals, they still have it for obviously for kickoffs, but field goals, the snapper would put it on a tee.
Yeah, when was this?
1990, I think they changed the rule. His freshman year, right when he started college.
That's a tough year to change that.
Yeah.
But at least everybody will be struggling at the same time.
Yeah. He struggled more than others.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Well, it's crazy to go. I mean, he probably would have been in the NFL. Where did he kicked for South Carolina?
Yeah.
I mean, so he could have probably kicked in the NFL, and it's just like tough to switch. I mean, that's a big switch.
It is.
If you go,
4 years is probably enough time to figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, that is true too, though.
Maybe they don't give him enough time.
Yeah.
He said he hit a trombone player one time.
Really?
He hooked it so far left that it nailed a trombone player.
He really let it go to his head, I think. This team
I think it got to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the yips.
Yeah.
Like you can get it where you just probably think you're just so used to one thing. Golly. When you see them hook like that, didn't we? Florida missed a kick this weekend, I think.
An extra point.
An extra point, and it hooked.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was. I thought someone touched it.
I know. That thing was just like a. And I think they said that was the first one he'd missed all year.
It was, the hooks, like some of them, they just go. I mean, you got to think. I mean, I know it's like a 20-yard kick or 15, whatever it is. But to hook so that quick, just to start and just, I mean, it just was like whoop, hard left. We benefited from it. So, fun weekend for Vanderbilt. Me and Bates, Ryan Malone, my brother Derek, we'll all be at the game Saturday.
All right,
big, man. I'll be pulling for y'all.
Thanks, man.
Who's Notre Dame play?
Notre Dame's got USC.
Oh, yeah.
In a huge game.
Huge game.
With playoff implications for USC.
Yeah. I was like, finish that sentence.
Yeah, for the other team.
Yeah. I was waiting. I mean, the way you started, I go.
Yeah, we have no chance.
Well, you could end possibly the kid's Heisman run. I mean, if the quarterback for USC has because I watched that game, USC UCLA, it's a great game, and then the USC quarterback has a big game against y'all. Like, I mean, it's down to him and the Ohio State guy because the other two guys are hurt.
Can I be honest with you? It's been kind of fun. It's been kind of fun. A 3-loss team. We're out of the playoff hunt. Is this what it feels like being a Vanderbilt fan all the time? Where it's like, let's just ruin other people's seasons. That's the best we can hope for. It's kind of fun.
I don't know if we've ever been a 3-loss team.
Yeah.
So
I also don't know that Vanderbilt's ruining a lot of seasons.
But I mean,
right?
that's what you're playing for. Let's go out there. Let's ruin somebody else's season. That's almost as fun.
If the Tennessee would have beaten South Carolina this week, and then you ruin them hard.
Yeah.
But now,
But we have a bowl eligibility to play for.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That's
Okay.
something to play
Okay.
for.
we're a
for
lot
sure.
of that, like a bowl. And look, it's nice to beat. Yeah, it is nice to ruin, people's dreams.
Yeah, because in college, when you're watching a team and they're like and they lose, you're like, oh, now we're out of everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tennessee, I feel like that's the thing is like I don't know how much they're because it's like whatever bowl game they're going to get to, it's like who really cares? Like it was like they wanted once you're like I think if they weren't going to think they were going to get in the playoff, then they would have been playing for like let's get to the top because I don't know if anybody expected them. I mean, I think they expected to be better, but I don't know if they expected them to be
Absolutely
where they were at, and so or they might have, the fans might have, I'm sure, but it's. I think if they would have won, it would have been. Now that they lost, it's like, now they're going to go instead of going to whatever Rose Bowl. Not Rose Bowl, but like they're go to like whatever the Sunday game. Like, I guess you could make it go down more. But I feel like even if they lost, they would just be like, everybody's tired. Like it was like too much. And then it was like last week was just like, oh, and then the guy gets hurt and you're like, But I'm sure. They don't want to lose to Vanderbilt. And
their big thing they've been saying all year is they're going to do the checker board in a visiting stadium, Vanderbilt Stadium. Like, you know how the fans, and they were going to do that. Had you heard that?
Yeah.
And I guess they'll still try, but I think some of their wins out of their sale.
How great would it be though to be because I was even saying like Tennessee is back. So how great would it be for them to be like Tennessee's back and then lose to Vanderbilt?
Oh,
that would be amazing.
That'd be amazing. A dream come true.
It'd be great.
It'd be great.
I'd love it.
So yeah, I was at. We had great shows this weekend. It was all fun. Everything was great. Figuring out some new material. Where were y'all at?
I was with Leanne Morgan in Fayetteville, North Carolina, Columbia, South. The night before the game, we were there in Columbia and then Chattanooga. Great shows.
Yeah. I was in Minneapolis, sold out 2 shows.
Oh, nice.
At St. Paul, actually, at Laugh Camp Comedy Club. We got a little overzealous, added another show. Did not sell out. But
how many
still
shows
fun.
did you do?
3.
Yeah.
3 shows total.
Oh, that's still good.
No, it was awesome. But I wanted to ask you guys, I have a question about airplane etiquette.
Yeah,
for the 3 of you guys.
I love it.
So I'm flying up there to Minneapolis, and it's me and Joe Kelly who's doing the shows with me. Nobody in the middle seat. Southwest. We're flying, and it's the only empty seat on the plane. So I'm thinking we lucked out, And then last second, this squirrely dude runs onto the plane and sits right between us.
Yeah.
Okay, he's twitchy and he's weird, and you're like, whatever, we'll just deal with it. And immediately, dude, I just start to. He's horrible smell.
Yeah.
So bad that I made an audible noise. I was like, ugh. I couldn't help myself. It was
enough.
Awful. And like an enough kind of moment. But I look down, he's got his shoes off, no socks. And the shoes he's wearing are like First Communion shoes. I don't know a better way to describe. They're like black, like church kind of shoes with no socks. And he's got his feet off and it smells horrible, dude. The whole side of the plane could smell him. I just wonder what y'all think about that. I feel like socks on is one thing, but bare feet, smelling horrible. He probably just sprinted to the plane. His feet are sweaty. I smelled that the whole flight.
Yeah, it's not
I'm against it.
Yeah, I'm against ever taking off your shoes on a plane.
Yeah.
And if they don't smell, great, but I'm still kind of against it.
If you take them off and your feet are underneath the seat, they don't smell. If you're like, they're not gonna smell. Like I can understand that. Like when people start putting them up in places, like
put them up between the seats in front of them.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff's weird. It's like the goal is to try to not be a bother.
I'm against people boarding the plane that late.
Yeah, I know.
Don't give me false hope that I'm
a
about
bummer,
to get an empty seat here.
It is. That's a matter of a Southwest where you pick that seat. So sometimes, because I always think like the strategy of it is like, do you want to be more kind of maybe like around exit rowish or a little bit in front of it if you got an extra seat? Because a lot of times those people would just immediately go to the back because they just assume I'm late.
Yeah.
But because it's like you would get people in the back that will pass you, and then they have to find a seat. There's only middle seats left, and usually those people they're already past you. But then you always leave it open for a last second.
Yeah.
Because the last second one comes on, it's like he's just going to.
You definitely don't go exit row because those will be the first middle seats taken.
I go exit row.
I'm talking about if the goal is to leave the middle seat open, is to have that middle seat open next to you,
Yeah.
you can't go exit row because people will sit there.
Sometimes
always.
you can because that's where the flight attendant will stand. So if you have the
if
flight,
you can finagle that. That's
it
ideal,
happens a lot.
obviously.
Like the flight attendant can. That's where they have to kind of stand, and sometimes they will stand there. And I've seen someone, and they're like, "Oh, I mean, not always happen, but they're like, I'm gonna stand in the middle of you two," and then they stand in the middle, and like no one really knows to go to it. And I figure you're sacrificing like, all right, like if there's gonna be a lot of open middle row seats, then maybe not. But if there's only gonna be a few, it's like, well, I'd rather it just be my odds, or at least I'm in an exit row. So like I'm at least giving myself that versus
I think
hoping for a middle.
my concern has always been about horizontal room, less so about
the length.
leg room.
Yeah.
I can do fine with regular leg room,
Yeah.
but I'd like to be able to put that armrest up. Nobody there in the middle.
Yeah.
That's ideal.
And did when did you board?
I'm early.
Early.
So I boarded quickly.
You don't go after the exit row?
No, because I always think somebody's going to get that middle seat.
Yeah.
And I've had pretty good success going right behind the exit row.
Yeah.
Kind of towards the back.
Yeah.
Do you try to dress like you don't want people to sit next to you?
I don't dress that way, but I behave that way.
What if you wore a shirt with a stain on it? I would think that would be the way to go. Like a homemade V-neck, but you got a little oil stain right on there.
A homemade V-neck? You mean
you cut?
The collar's just drooped?
Oh yeah, maybe
down?
real wore out or cut.
Yeah.
You
You basically look like the guy that sat next to you.
Yeah.
Well, this guy was real thin and twitchy and weird. So
Yeah, it sounds like something was wrong with him.
yeah. But I mean, do you say something to him at some point? Put your shoes back on?
You were gonna have to have
No,
a
you
comic could
I
say it.
wouldn't.
A comic could have that conversation. But you're
I'm out of luck.
Yeah. I didn't mean
A
like
comedian could have handled
But
it
I
a little
mean,
better.
I think it's a tough. But I'm not saying you like. But I'm saying in general. I think the only person that could have that conversation is a comedian. A comedian could. Our job is to talk and like try to deliver something that's like not fortunate, but in a nice way.
Well, this is why you've always
uh,
said comedians should break the news at like doctors' offices and
Yeah.
stuff because they could find a way to do it.
You could find a way to do this.
It wouldn't
to be
hurt their
like-
feelings that bad.
Yeah, you could just be like, "What happened?"
But at a
today, buddy?"
certain point, I'm like, it's just the breaths were tough
Yeah.
because of how. I mean, it was a thick smell coming off his feet.
No one said how long was the flight.
Hour and a half.
Yeah,
If it were a 4-hour flight, at a certain point, I would have tapped him.
I sometimes carry extra socks. Maybe I would have just been like, "Hey, why don't you go ahead and throw these on here, bud?"
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pull socks out of your
Yeah,
backpack.
go ahead and throw these on. Give us a break here.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I flew from Chattanooga to Atlanta and then back on the way back from Atlanta to Chattanooga. 20-minute flight. That's about as short as you get. I mean,
Why were you flying that?
as opposed to driving it.
Yeah, it's like a 45-minute drive.
Well, because I was with Leanne
Okay.
and Atlanta was the connection.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't our
Oh.
destination,
Okay.
but still, it's amazing that quick of a flight. Like the plane just doesn't even get up in the air, and
Uh-huh.
it's just immediately.
We had no drink
They didn't have
service.
time to
or
get
anything,
no
yeah.
No, nothing,
snacks, not even a
nothing.
real bathroom break there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Gets-
nice.
By the
I
time
like
you get,
it. Yeah.
by the
Yeah,
time
it's
you get
great.
started on your movie, you got to shut the laptop down.
Yeah. You watch movies on a laptop?
Yeah, on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the time.
No iPad or anything?
Oh no, I don't even have an iPad. I had some kind of Galaxy Tab A thing, and I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a fan.
Why?
I don't know. It just felt like I don't know. I never could get it to work properly, and I don't even own an iPad. I think I'm going to get one. I'm going to fly with my baby soon, so I'm going to have to get her something. But, to
Get her a brand new
watch
iPad.
some Coco Melon or something. Well, get me one that she'll be looking at.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then next time I'm on the podcast, I'll be like,
You all right?
let me tell you how great the iPad is.
I got excited. I'm sorry. I almost fell out of my seat. But what you're saying made me think of this same flight, dude. The flight attendant comes on and goes, "We've got a mother and her son who's about 6 or 7, and they're really looking to sit together. So if anybody could volunteer to move so that these two could sit together. And he kind of looks around, and one guy's just like, I'll do it, man. And he goes, so he moves, and then the flight attendant goes, I just want to say one thing. We all love Southwest here. And, I'm told I'm the face of the company, but the real face of the company is you, sir. It's customers like you. Everybody give him a round of applause.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're making a bit too much.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was just trying to get the flight taken off.
Yeah.
And you're heralding him as if he's this hero. On the fly. I was in the back stewing next to the.
Well, it would be, if you're that guy, you're like, I don't even want to be noticed.
Yeah, he was like, he looked around and he goes, I don't.
Yeah, he goes, and that's funny to have to.
Face of the company.
Stand up. He's got to go. All right. Oh, got to get back up. And he's like,
There's a curtain call.
he goes, hey, thank you. Because I'll make sure everybody saw it. And they go, gosh, just powerful stuff right there.
I was on a flight with Leanne this weekend, and the woman, a big fan, comes up to her, just so excited to see her right before we take off, and she's just going nuts. And then, what's the first, besides military, I guess first class, first thing they call.
Yeah.
And Leanne, she's in first class, so she boards. So now the lady's stuck with me, and she's like, I'm sorry, that was a famous comedian right there that we were talking to. And I was like, yeah, I'm actually a comedian too. She's like, oh, okay.
No.
All right. So then they start calling, I don't know what, priority, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They go through so many, there's like 10 levels, main cabin 1, and finally she has to go. Like, it's just so funny. She's like,
ahead of you.
yeah, it was nice talking to you. And then I get on the plane, and I see her again. I have to pass her as I head to the back in main group 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
Leanne's asleep because she's been on for an hour.
Is that Delta? That's
Delta.
what Delta makes you feel like. You'll have like your boarding pass will be like, you'll be like Group A, and you'll be like, all right, that seems good.
Mm-hmm.
But then they go through so many before they get to that, to where you just keep moving down and down and down.
Yeah.
I think Key and Peele has a very funny sketch about that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's group 1.
Okay.
And then they just announce everything.
Yeah.
Just weird stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I was I was in Houston at the Improv, and Raymond says hey to you, and also wanted me to make some jokes about your golf swing, but I didn't even understand golf well enough to get his jokes to be able to come and tell them to you.
I beat Raymond.
But he was but he was very nice, and he really took care of me. He was really great. But I was in the Houston airport, and I'm like getting mad about all these trivial things. I mean, I'm in the priority line to get my bags checked in, and there's just a long delay, and then I end up doing it myself, and then I have to go. I have clear to where I can get in all fast, but it's not being fast, and then I have to go through TSA, and I go through the thing, and they're like, "Is your belt on?" And I'm like, "Yeah, my belt's always on." They're like, "You got to take your belt off." So I'm all mad. I've had to do all these things, all very small things, but they just one right after another.
Add up.
And then as soon as I get through, I'm all mad. This guy goes, "Hey, are you Dusty Slay?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I'm very irritated.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, "This airport sucks." And this guy goes, "Yeah, it does." He goes, "It's the worst airport." And I complained to him about all the things, and everything he's like validating. He's like, "Yeah, man, that's the whole point. Why are we even having to do this?" By the time I was done talking to this guy, I was so happy. This guy changed my whole mood.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give him a shout out. This guy is, I don't even know if he listens, but this guy is Alex from Salt Lake City. And he really cheered me up in this airport. And I was like, because I thought, oh, this is going to be awkward because this guy is a fan. And now I'm all mad. And he just kept validating. He's like, "Yeah, this is the worst airport in the country, man." And I was like, "Yeah, it is."
Yeah.
And I was like, I had to take off my belt. And he's like, "Yeah, this is the whole point of TSA pre-check." And I was like, and I'm in the priority line. He's like, "Yeah, why does it take so long?" And I was like, who is this guy? And I need him around all the time.
Yeah. That's good to know when your fans meet you, they get the brunt of your problem thrown on them.
The guy known for we're having a good time.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted him to know I'm so irritated right now.
Downloaded your whole day on this guy.
And this guy just.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
But I told him, I said, "Wow, you really cheered me up." I said, "I really appreciate it." I said, "We're having a good time now."
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's funny that you do clear in TSA.
I mean, I'm trying to get through. Well, clear, I got kind of talked into one time.
I know, but the stuff that you don't want,
Yeah.
like the stuff you don't want to have, but then they have everything.
I know. Clear really
eyeball.
sketches me out.
I mean, I think you might as well get a microwave now.
Yeah, well, it's true. But I was in San Francisco, and I felt like I was about to miss my flight. The line was so long, and the guy came up to me and he goes, "If you sign up for Clear, you can skip this whole line." And I hated it so much. They took my fingerprints, my eye, and I was like, I don't want to get stuck here. I do not want to miss. And then I ended up having plenty of time. But so it was really a waste. But now I have it, and I just do it.
You're like Eve, and you took that apple, and you're like, you can skip this guy in front of you, and you go, I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah, I mean, I see why Eve ate the apple.
Yeah.
I mean, I know why she ate it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was like, you won't. The serpent was like, you won't die. And I was like, oh, okay. I thought I would die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
They're going to round you up. I think in the circle of off the gridness, I mean, you're going to, I don't know if you get in the meeting now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's the first thing they're going to say. Is
sold
like,
out. Dude.
They're going to say who has Clear or pre-check. And
I'll be like, oh, me?
Yeah. And then they're going to be like, beat it. I mean, you might as well be. Yeah. You're one of them.
Yeah.
You're one of them. You're the informant.
Well, pre-check doesn't seem so sketchy, but Clear for sure does.
They do an FBI, they do an FBI background check.
Well, I'm clean. I'm not doing
It's not about being clean. It's the idea that
they got your info.
They got your info.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to take my laptop out of the bag every time.
Yeah. As you take you're like, I'm not gonna take the laptop, and so you have your piece of tape over the thing. As they have all your information.
Well, don't be watching me at all times.
Yeah. They scan your eyes and know who you are.
Yeah, well, they probably scanned all our eyes because of our phones anyway, you know. I mean, I don't buy into that, but that because this is done, we might as well just give it all up. But I don't know.
You
it's
get
like
some of it up.
I fly so much that I'm like, it is when I go to an airport and it's really busy and I can just zoom past everyone, I'm like, this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I was in TSA pre-check line the other day, and a guy comes through. We're standing there. A guy comes through, just has a badge of some sort, and just kind of shows it to the And I mean, they immediately like, "Oh yeah, come on through." And I'm thinking, this guy must be somebody very important. And then I get up there to where you put your luggage in, and they're patting him down, and he goes through, and it beeps, and they're like, "Come back through. We got to do it again." So it's very strange. Like they act like he ran the airport. And then I end up passing him because they're doing multiple pat downs.
Well, you just worked at like the Burger King there or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's start with you guys' comments. Nick S. This year, I'm celebrating Turkey Day by giving thanks for Nateland. My work often involves difficult conversations and heavy situations, but you four get me laughing every single week, and it truly lightens the load. When your life gets heavy, what lightens the load? I'm guessing you don't start telling yourself jokes he's asking.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He was asking us a question.
Yeah.
I started reading it like an ad. When your life gets heavy, what lightens the load?
Better help.
I'm guessing you don't start telling yourself jokes or reciting your routine in the mirror. Like, what do we do? What do we do if your life gets heavy?
Well, my daughter always helps bring things back to reality.
Yeah. Yeah, that does that.
It's a good one.
I like to take my shoes off, go walk around in the grass, you know.
Do a little grounding.
Do a little grounding. Touch on the trees.
Reconnect with the earth.
Yeah.
What about on a plane? Do you take
perimeter check?
I like to find a fan and complain to them as much as I can about my life, about being in pre-check and Clear and the priority line, and help them, sympathize with me.
Yeah.
You do something?
I never get sad.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't feel like you ever need to feel like you got to lighten your load, like you just. and I didn't mean it as it sounded, but as I was saying it, I was like, "This is gonna be kind of a double joke." But I did not mean it.
But it works on two
Aaron,
levels.
when your life gets heavy,
what? Aaron
problems weighing you down.
Problems weighing.
He does seem like the most grounded person. Like Aaron always seems like it's all going.
I feel like he
fine.
can fly off the handle a little bit.
Oh, I can for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Enough.
Yeah.
But it just seems like the most grounded person.
That's very nice of
Yeah.
you to say, Dustin.
Yeah.
I think he's extreme. Yeah, I do think you're very aware,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm a big on awareness, super aware.
Thanks, man.
But then you got to have someone with you that's aware because they're aware that you're ready to go.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be like any little hiccup, you go like, I'm about to get after it on this one.
Uh-huh.
I imagine you're going to get, how do you think you're like, you get super famous, everybody knows you when you walk around everywhere you go. You think you have to reel it back in? Or you think the enough can still happen?
Oh, it could still happen
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
I think people want it.
It'll be there. Yeah,
They will want it.
It's like if you run into, not that this is like me at all, but I was just thinking if I see Larry David in the wild, like I want to see him
in the wild.
I want to see him
thing.
being Larry David in the wild. I
Yeah.
want to see him snapping at somebody, calling somebody out for something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would want to see.
For me, I do like if it's out on the road, not to get, but it's a constant reminder that it's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about, don't put yourself first. That's a big one that I've worked on. And then, but like just to take your break, I'll try to watch a movie. I watch like that's why I've been like scary movies or something that's like kind of a thriller, something that can kind of keep my attention. And so it's like I'm kind of invested and I try to find. That's why I watch a lot of those movies that people are like dumb, or like whatever. But I want it to be kind of like brain
escapist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I just want to something, you kind of come for you like, all right, I'll watch this. And, that's what I think that's what I do. But yeah, your family also when you see them, that helps. Andrew Kahn. I'm pretty new to this podcast and I am in grad school. I'm always looking for things that don't stretch my brain too much because I'm overwhelmed with new knowledge. All right. This week, Nate said deers 4 or 5 times as the plural of deer. I love this podcast and it's a highlight of my week. Keep it up. There's a bunch of deers over there. You don't say deers?
It's deer, yeah.
There's a lot of deer over there?
It's like fish.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. So there's one
saw
deer?
3 deer this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But loaves and fishes.
Sometimes if it's a lot of deer, it feels like you want to throw an S on there just to emphasize that. Yeah, I mean, there's multiple, but there was multiple deer.
Yeah, what if you just want to go, but you should have been there. Like I think if if you're like, there's a lot of deers over there, and someone's like, you don't say the S, I go, if you would have seen this,
yeah, you don't know how many.
You don't know the amount of deers I was talking about.
Yeah.
It's enough that we needed deers.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Reed, hearing Nate, Dusty, and Broham repeatedly say mischievous incorrectly gives me flashbacks to my childhood. The word is pronounced mischievous.
Mischievous.
Mischievous. Oh, it's not mischievous?
I have no idea.
Mischievous?
Mischievous.
Mischievous.
We'll see what Google says.
Mischievous.
Yeah.
Oh, that feels weird. I spent many years correcting others about it and don't usually do it anymore. But that was about 7 mischievous too many. Mischievous.
That's the Southern way of saying
mischievous.
it. Yeah, we like to add a syllable in words sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, mischievous.
Mm-hmm.
Mischievous. You can't say it slow. You got to say it fast.
Mischievous.
Mischievous. Cell Party. Dusty should make them all watch Idiocracy. It's a shame that reference just went on by without hearing all Dusty's thoughts on the movie. Everyone watch and report back.
I agree. I mean, the first time I saw that movie, I didn't really get it. But as the years go by, the world is more like that movie all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
What is it about? Can you give a 10-second
Well,
summary?
yeah. I mean, Luke Wilson is a pretty average guy, and he gets frozen.
And that's time.
And he gets frozen and goes way forward in time. And then when he becomes unfrozen, the world has gotten so dumb that he's now the smartest man in the world.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fun premise.
And he has very basic knowledge, but everybody is just marveled by his knowledge.
It's
It's so great.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll check it out. I guess it's streaming everywhere.
I mean, it's
stuff
a
streaming.
pretty filthy movie, but it is. It is.
Oh, no, thank you.
Tony Richardson, baking soda was the only honest one at the table when he said he'd be jealous if a coworker won the lottery. It's human nature to be envious if someone falls into money they didn't earn. Nate would have a harder time than any of you if Butterbean suddenly had more money than him.
Thank you, Tony.
I disagree with that, though. I do disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I get what he's saying, but I wouldn't. I've I've had a lot of friends go make more money than me. Like when you're first starting out and you're like out there busting around, and then you got your peers are with you, then they are making money and they're doing. I'm in a career that is just basically you're watching people win the lottery every day.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, we're doing the same amount of work, and then this person jumps, and that's and they literally go to make millions of dollars. Like you're here, and then they win the lottery, and then in 2 months they're here, and so I'm watching that a lot. I would not be. I'm happy with what I'm doing. So like I think I can do. That's the only thing that I would say about that. I'm not worried about what other people would make because I think I can go get. I've always just like I'll go get my own. I'll figure my own thing out. So I'll like I don't think I would be.
Well, I think that is the nice thing about what we do, right? You're almost kind of in charge of what you can make. If you sell the tickets, you can make more money. And so you're kind of in charge in a way, but it's like if you're working a regular job and then a coworker that maybe you don't like very much suddenly wins the lottery, it's like, oh, that could really eat you up.
Yeah, I can understand that. That's what I always liked about comedy is like there's no cap. Like that's what's kind of I think and if you do anything that's like not a normal kind of thing, it's like I like the idea that you're in a world that's like, yeah, there is no maybe Seinfeld has $1 billion. Like it's like there's no cap to it. Like
it's not a zero-sum game.
Yeah, and that's what makes it, and that's what's fun about it because you can also make $0. And so it's like it's just a complete like, all right, I have to work every day.
It is a zero-sum game. It could be.
Oh, it could be.
What do you mean?
Well, you just said
I
you
don't
could make
really know
$0.
It could be zero.
No.
Yeah.
But this all being said, I think if Brian did win the lottery and had a bunch more money than you all of a sudden, he would not handle it with a lot of grace.
No, I would not. I admit that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what that means, but
That would be great. I mean, I would love it. Honestly, I would love it.
I would tell you what I think I would help you. I would tell you like, dude, you should be just doing this now. Like, don't go. It's like if you win the lottery,
I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm a billionaire.
Yeah, but
Come in with a big fur coat on.
Yeah.
Who's breakfast now?
Full head of hair.
Yeah.
You walk into Union Planners with a top hat on
And a monocle.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a bank anymore. I don't think so, but
Was back in our
it
day.
was back in the day. So yeah, Tony, I think I'd be all right. It is true though. We are in a business where people win the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not not $1 billion, but you see people win.
Well, yeah, they win the lottery on, you see it with like even followers on the internet too.
Yeah.
It's like, someone will be opening for me. And then the next, like I had a guy working with me this weekend, Ralph Barbosa, very funny out of Texas. And he, he was featuring for me and he has like 60,000 more followers than me on Instagram. He just blew up all of a sudden. And I'm like, this is great because he's very funny and I like him. But it's like, yeah, he won the lottery in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
But he didn't just buy a ticket. He wrote good jokes.
Right.
I want to just say so everybody knows, this is not Fiji water because my wife is cheap. And so this is just one bottle we've had and she just keeps refilling it and makes me think it's Fiji water.
It's tap water.
Can you tell the difference?
I don't know. But I don't think I thought about it. So she's kind of right in that sense. But if she won $1 billion, she would do this. And this is the life I would live.
Yeah.
Is just constantly being like, well, what ketchup is that? It says Heinz on it. It's like, well, it's
Sam's Club.
She's got McDonald's package, just squeezing them in there.
That's the real Alabama. I love it.
Can't take it out of
Yeah, I love it.
Dan Ludwig. I take my class. I feel like I know that. Was there a Ludwig coached at Vandy?
Oh, really?
A Ludwig. I think something like that. I take my class out to the football field, give the students some tools, and then ask them to estimate the number of blades of grass on the field. If they do a good job, their answers should be between 200 million and 500 million. The next day, we calculate the odds of winning the Powerball off a single ticket. It's about 1 in 300 million. So then when we go back out to the field and acknowledge go back to the field and acknowledge that having any sort of confidence in winning the Powerball would be a similar experience to thinking you could choose the winning blade of grass out of the entire field.
That does put it in a good perspective.
A good perspective.
I think
But
Dan,
you could be like, he needs to pick a blade of grass, though. So you'd be like, you go back out and be like, if he could somehow be like, all right, maybe he, I don't know how, but like actually pick a blade of grass, which I know seems crazy.
put your initials on it.
You got you'd have to have some way to know exactly where to go. Get coordinates. Pick coordinates.
Yeah.
Do the coordinates on it and go, I have one set of coordinates. If any of you can get it within this square of where this coordinate is, you know, and then someone's like, this one, he goes, and he goes and buys. And Love is like, I'll buy everybody Powerball tickets. I mean, you know,
I think he'd be a fun teacher because he's like, if you do a good job, your answer's between 200 million and 500. Somebody says, how much? 200 million. Next guy goes 500 million. Both good answers.
Yeah, that's
solid answer.
That's a big range of acceptable answers.
And also, future people that take his class now are
Right.
just like, he's like, go figure this out. He goes, I listened to it on the podcast. Just say 350 million.
Yeah, you'll be right
And
there.
he's going to be like, nailed it. Dude. You go, I eyeballed it.
Yeah.
I wish I would have taken his class. William Galliano. Yep.
Galliano?
Galliano.
Yeah.
William Galliano. You guys talking about how to go about after winning the lotto reminded me about a recent news story about a Chinese lotto winner that kept his 30 million jackpot secret from his family because he didn't want them to become lazy. He accepted the money in a costume. Oh, wow.
Not any costume.
I don't know what that is a costume of,
Yeah.
but he committed to it, man.
That seems admirable that he's like, I don't want my family to become lazy, but it's also like, seems selfish.
He didn't want to share the money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, he goes to the gas station and drinks a Coke and doesn't take it to his family because he doesn't want them to get diabetes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder if they do anything. He probably went and got himself a couple nice things. Maybe bought some nice things, but
He
then,
had to buy that costume.
yeah.
I read the article. It seemed like it was very admirable. He wants his kids to grow up. And
Is he going to give it to him eventually, like in his will or in a trust or something?
I don't know, but I mean, it seemed like he had good intentions for
Right.
sure.
Well, secret's out now, huh?
Yeah. Well, we still don't know what he looks like.
You don't know. Yeah, you don't know what he looks like. So
You don't have to publicly disclose your name in China.
it's like
I
and
guess.
it's actually another lottery for the kids because you're like, so someone's dad won. So everybody's looking at their dad like if they're acting any different.
Hopefully
odds
that
of-
costume's not in the garage somewhere.
Yeah.
The odds of picking a dad in China, you'd be a better chance with the football field
yeah.
to get the right guy.
Why is that?
There's a lot of people.
Oh. Kevin Robleski.
That's a fun name.
Yeah. Did he write him before? I don't know.
Maybe.
Hey, Bear. The college scandal that was happening for years and a couple of folks got pinned for it is exactly what happened to the Astros. Cheating in baseball has happened forever and still is. How you doing?
Sounds like an Astros fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree.
We were all doing it. We were all banging trash cans.
We were
in the
all wearing
dugout.
devices under our uniform that tipped
Yeah.
us off to the pitches.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
I think a better analogy is the sticky substances, the pictures. Everybody was
Yes.
using that. Not everyone was using cameras to.
Well, you don't
And
know
it costs
that
money
they
to go
got
to
caught.
college.
Oh.
So if you're just paying extra, I mean, it's not, I guess it's cheating, but it's not exactly the same.
I guess the logic I could see is if you get caught, then you deserve what happens. Like I could
Yes.
understand that logic. Like almost like you're like, well, they're all cheating. You're the one that got caught. So then you didn't do a good enough job at it. But then it's like a game. But then you're accepting cheating. So then you got to just be like, all right, everybody's cheating. Don't get caught.
Yeah.
So you hope they don't cheat. But it's probably all.
I don't think. I'm sure there's some degree of somebody that maybe puts in a good word, and so but I don't know that everyone's doing what those people did, and that was pretty severe stuff they were doing.
Right. Those guys are going to extreme lengths
Yeah.
for sure.
Mm-hmm. But that's like where's the World Cup is happening, right?
Mhm.
And we were talking about like FIFA and how it's like corrupt and like people getting these things. It's like Yeah, it's like everything you watch is just because there's so much money involved.
Yeah. Everything's rigged.
Everything's rigged.
Yeah. 100%.
Just give up.
Give up.
There's no hope.
There's no hope. Just be nice. That's all you can do.
Right.
I
Be
know.
nice is
I
a
love how
wonderful
we
thing.
just got through saying, just go out and find your own way and we'll make it zero-sum game. And they're like, it's all rigged. We're hopeless.
You find out your way. Being nice is the ultimate thing. Just be nice. That's free and it's free. It's nice.
I agree with that.
FP Thrasher. There's nearly 200 comments under this YouTube video right now. There's no way they actually read all of these before picking which ones to address in the next episode. They're either just picking the comments with the most interactions or arbitrarily
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
selecting comments.
Well, FP, you would be wrong because I read every comment and go through and select them out. Now, you did a good job of tricking me into getting your comment read, but
That's good.
I wanted to make the point that no, I read them all.
Make the point and keeps everybody on the toes a little bit.
Brian reads every comment and is taking a tremendous toll on his mental health,
Yeah.
as I think you can tell.
Yeah.
So if you don't believe he reads all these, just look at him.
Yeah.
He sees it all.
Well, the funny thing is, most people know now that I read the emails because we've read that,
Yeah.
said that more than once. But some people still don't know. So they'll like, Nate, you're my favorite comedian. I saw you, blah, 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 blah. And I just think, and I'll just reply, thank you very
Yeah.
much. And then they'll reply back, oh my God, I can't believe you replied to me. I got to say, though, you're a little hard on Breadbasket. I just say lighten up on him, whatever. But now I don't want them to know. So I'm like, well, you don't know how he is. He's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
So I have to like blast myself just to keep this facade going.
I also love that they're like, you're hard on him, but still giving you a nickname.
I know. They
Yeah.
always do that. They always still like take a shot at
They're
me.
like,
while-
yeah, we're all doing it, but be
Yeah.
easier
Be a
about
little
it.
kinder
Yeah.
to Bozo.
Jake Bennett. I'm halfway through book 7 of Harry Potter. Up until this point, I have avoided all spoilers. I've avoided all spoilers. That is until Aaron had absolutely no regard for those who might be a bit behind on one of the most famous book series of all time and basically blew the whole thing. Maybe next time just say spoiler alert so I can close my ears. That's so funny.
If I did truly spoil the book for him, I do feel bad because that was a big thing that I spoiled. But
yeah, but if you didn't,
that book came out 2007.
Yeah,
Yeah, these
Yeah,
little
but
children are grown men now.
Yeah. And so they wouldn't have been able to read it.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a child?
Huh?
No,
I don't know.
I'm saying the
even
kids
if it was
that
a-
were in the movies are now like grown people.
It could have been an adult trying to like have some escapism from his life, and,
Right.
Like, so he's like, "Oh,
I get that. Why I
just
do
it."
feel bad if I
Yeah.
did that. But there's other stuff that I didn't spoil that will still surprise you at the end.
I think he said his wife
That's good.
turned him on to the books.
Oh,
He's
okay.
recently married. His wife was into him, and she turned him on.
You should put those books away anyway.
Yeah,
Not read that stuff. Don't
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
that.
It's the
No.
best book series.
Don't bring that
of
into
all
give
time.
your
your
life.
It's the best book series ever.
give the government a map of your eyes, but don't read Harry Potter.
Well,
A map.
don't bring the witchcraft in. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean,
It's about good and evil, dude. You know.
I don't know. Dude
It's,
talks to snakes.
the only
That's
thing
all
I
I'm
would say,
saying.
if we were talking about Harry Potter before you, how quick did you give away something?
I think pretty quickly, if I
Oh
remember
yeah,
correctly.
so he didn't
yeah.
have a shot.
No,
Yeah.
he didn't even have a shot to pause it.
Yeah,
You guys don't have clear?
yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
But I
would
also-
never sell my
yeah,
soul like that to the
But
government.
I also have 6 microwaves.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got a couple. I don't
Oh,
use
you-
them, but I have them.
It's a
They
book.
came with the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife will
Are they-
sneak stuff in there once in a
Oh
while.
yeah. You leave them. Oh, I was gonna say, are they unplugged?
Yeah, converted them to a safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just use it for the clock.
Witchy Trista. Not all witches are bad, and not all magic is dark.
A weird transition.
In fact,
Mhm.
I've never done dark magic. She spelled it with the Magick.
Yeah, it was a longer
Oh,
post, but she explained the difference. Like your dad does magic.
With
And-
a C.
C. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to say that magic is just like prayer with props. It's basically asking the universe for an outcome and using tools to direct the flow of energy. Being a witch just means I find God in nature instead of in a church. I believe in spreading love and healing. All right.
Sounds good.
I think you just need a better name than
Then magic?
witch.
Oh.
She's saying being a witch just means I find God in nature instead of in a church. So she's saying being a witchy. But I mean,
Yeah, you don't have
I'm
to
fine
find
being
God in a church,
no.
and you don't have to be a witch to find God in
It's
nature.
I'm just saying off the top,
Yeah.
it's like witch is just not a.
Glenda was a good
favorable-
witch.
All right.
That's true.
I've read
Allegedly.
so much Harry Potter that the witch does not have a negative connotation to me at all.
Oh, really?
There are plenty of noble witches and wizards in Harry Potter.
So there you go. So
Well,
maybe I'm
that's
not
what-
up to
doesn't mean
date.
anything to me.
That's
true.
what the
Maybe I'm not
amazing
up to
book
date.
series has done, though. It's warped your point of view on witches.
Yeah.
I don't know if it warped it. It did make me appreciate, the battle of good and evil and things like that.
But I'm saying, though,
and the
now
importance
you're
of
like,
friendship and love and stuff like that.
but now you're like, witches are good.
I'm like, some can be good, some
Yeah.
can be bad, just like everybody.
Mhm.
Like in Wizard of Oz.
See, I don't know if you've seen the Wicked, the Broadway play, but I
have
mean,
not.
they really kind of break that down in a way that Glenda doesn't seem so good.
I haven't seen it.
I guess they make the bad witch look good.
Well,
but,
don't spoil the play. We might have somebody
Yeah.
just about
I've
to
never
watch it.
seen it.
Oh, it's really great. I mean, I've only seen one Broadway play in New York City, and that was it. And it was amazing.
And you went to one about witches?
Yeah.
This was years ago. I was still drinking back then. My whole mind was cloudy.
Yeah.
I was
But you still like it.
I was lost.
Was it good play? Music
it
was
was
good?
really great.
Yeah.
Leon Wisewood. While you guys were reading comments on the latest podcast, I heard Baby Teeth say one of the comments was from an Aussie. Then Nate saying what sounds like, oh, maybe I'll see him. I did a U-turn and rewound it about 5 times to see if I was hearing correctly. Was I hearing correctly? Is Nate touring down under? I don't know. Nothing's announced yet, but it's not announced yet.
Another U-turn to
Could
rewind.
be.
Well, he's joking, I think,
Could be.
from last week's.
Oh.
I did say that. You know what's funny is I caught myself right when I noticed I said it, and then I was like, oh yeah, it's not announced yet, but Australia stuff could be coming.
Could be.
Should be. It will be coming. I don't know if I can. I don't know when. We haven't announced it yet, but so nothing's on sale. I don't remember exactly where I'm going, but I will be over there. But it's and I forget even when it is.
I will
It
be
might
over
be-
there, but it's up in the air whether
It's
I'll
up
be
in
doing
the air.
comedy over there.
No, I'm gonna do comedy over
Yeah.
there. It's I'll be over there. I think it's towards the end of I want to say it's right close to when Harper goes back to school, when kids go back to school, like August, like whenever they start school. And then so I want to say it's the end of July, August, I think is about I think we'll be announcing it soon. So but yeah, here now.
Nice,
So,
man. That's
I
exciting.
will be down there.
Is it your first international stuff?
Besides, I've done Dublin, which I'm going back to, so I'm doing Europe, and I'll be in Europe in March. London, making a big run at that. Super excited about that. I've done Dublin before, and then besides the USO stuff or troop stuff, but then it'll be first. But Australia, I've never been to Australia, and I've always wanted to go.
That's awesome.
I'm excited.
Okay. Our next partner has a product we have started using every day. We all started taking athletic greens because none of us eat very well, but we all are looking for simple ways to try to be more healthy. This is a great start to the morning. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. The taste is great, and it's easy to make and drink quickly. 1 scoop of powder with water, shake, and drink. Travel packs are ready for when any of us are on the road. You can easily pour it into a bottle of water. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, which we hate, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything. Supports better sleep quality and recovery, and also mental clarity and alertness. It is cheaper than getting all the different supplements yourself. I mean, who has the time? And it costs less than $3 a day. I mean, that is about the best deal you can get. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and help your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the flu and cold season. It's just 1 scoop of water, 1 scoop. Okay. All right. We're having a good time. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That is it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens, I always mistakenly call it Amazing Greens because it is amazing.
Yep.
To make it every day, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Nate. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Nate to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Boom. All right. This week.
Feels good.
Talking about the World Cup.
Oh, I didn't realize we were talking about that.
You didn't?
No. I brought up the World Cup. I didn't realize it was the topic.
I was about to say, why don't you just wait to get into it when we talked about it?
Because I didn't realize the topic was World Cup. I didn't know. I mean, I don't always know. I don't
It's
know.
never
what these
too
are.
late to change topics. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We can pivot.
Really an episode about spoilers. We're spoiling, just a lot of spoilers going on.
Well, it's I just didn't know what the topic was.
But when we were downstairs watching the World Cup.
Well, I just said let's go mention it up there just to
okay.
have conversation.
Okay.
But I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the World Cup today.
I mean, if the topic was that and everybody knew it, y'all should have said.
Well, I
let's
kept
wait.
saying, let's talk about it. I thought I said down
Yeah.
there, let's talk about it upstairs.
Yeah.
Well, the topic's the World Cup. I'm going to frustrate
Spoiler alert.
a lot of people today because I don't know that much about soccer. So the people who really into it are going to get really frustrated with me.
Well,
My
just,
brother.
Yeah,
Derek-
your
Derek's
brother's really
super
into
into
it.
it.
Is
Yeah.
anyone else at this table into it?
I went to a
a lot?
Nashville game. It was
Yeah, the
awesome.
Nashville
I'm
games are
starting to
fun.
get into it. I think it's like I don't understand all the leagues. But I do enjoy watching it. You can talk about winding down or finding something to watch. Soccer is pretty pleasant to watch because it's just not.
On TV, you mean?
Yeah, on TV or at the game. It's just it's kind of it's not slow paced. It can feel like that because your score is not going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's a shot to the goal, it's super to the goal. It's the goal. It's super exciting. But it's just like kind of like you're like, man, this is just pleasant to watch. I'd imagine people I could see tennis. You're just kind of like you just enjoy it. It doesn't need to be so like just everything's fast and bang.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like, oh yeah, it's a you just kind of they're waiting until they get their shots in and
Just a guy kicking
Pleasant.
a ball around a
yeah,
field.
it's very pleasant.
Just passing it a lot.
Very pleasant, and then the most exciting thing ever when
Yeah.
someone gets a goal and stuff. I've come around to it, and I really enjoyed watching some of the games. And I mean, the World Cup's going on right now with America playing.
Usually the
Wales.
announcers have like a British accent. It's
Mhm.
very soothing.
I paused it,
Oh, I'm sorry.
spoiled it again.
This is-
Golly.
Golly.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even stop yourself.
What was that video game you spoiled? The Western thing?
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption?
Yeah, spoiled that.
I spoil stuff that's been out for a while.
This
that
game is on currently right now.
I understand that.
And I paused it. So I was like, oh, yeah, you know what? I'll check it out. That's
Did
so
you guys-
funny, dude. You
I didn't know
can't
it.
even help yourself.
I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Did you guys play soccer growing up?
I played soccer as a kid. I thought I was very good. My dad told me I wasn't and to stop playing it.
I didn't even look at you when I asked. I met these
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just assumed he never did.
Well, I played several years and I really liked it.
What
Yeah.
position did you play?
I don't know. I like to, slide tackle. I really like that. I like to take the ball from people by tripping them up. I
Uh-huh.
got a lot of yellow cards. I really enjoyed it.
And did he make you not play?
He didn't make me not play, but he didn't encourage it.
Yeah.
I'd say in Alabama back then, especially, probably wasn't a hot.
Yeah,
Sport.
I don't know. But my dad wasn't into it. He would come to the games, but I don't think he was into it.
Yeah. I don't I think I tried out in high school and I didn't make the team. We had a really good high school soccer team. I got cut everywhere in high school. But we had a really good high school soccer team. But I don't remember if I think I played I guess when I was little.
I did like rec
Right.
league. That's what we
Yeah.
called it,
Yeah.
We didn't even have it in Lebanon.
Really? You didn't have
Really
soccer
didn't.
leagues?
Nope. There wasn't soccer leagues. It wasn't in our high school.
It was just baseball and football, pretty much. Or
Basketball and
okay,
some other stuff, but not soccer. And
that's so funny.
I think not too long after I graduated, it became and now it's huge, but
Soccer wasn't even invented though during that time.
Well,
Did y'all have? Did you know about it?
Yeah, we knew about it. And I asked my buddy recently who's so into soccer and still plays in a men's league. I was like, what'd you do when we were growing up? He said, I'd go to Nashville and play in Hermitage.
Yeah.
And leagues there, but we didn't.
Brian's like, you could leave Lebanon?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could.
They fly over to Hermitage?
I went to Hickory Hollow Mall once a year at Christmas, and
Yeah.
that was getting out of Lebanon.
I was going to town. Wouldn't even go downtown.
No.
No, yeah.
Yeah. But it is the most popular sport in the world.
Like by far, right?
Probably 250 million people play it.
My wife's Canadian, and when she was growing up, her dad loved soccer, right? So she tried out for a team. She was pretty good, but she tried out for soccer and I guess didn't make the team. And her dad got so mad that he formed a different team in that city with all the people that didn't make the team.
Oh, wow.
And was like this really like hard coach.
It's a movie.
And was like forcing them to, he was forcing my wife to be very aggressive. And and she is like, I don't even want to be out here.
Yeah.
And now all the other teams hate her because she's pushing girls down and elbowing them.
Were they good?
Were they good?
I think they were pretty good, but I mean, but she was like, yeah, he formed the team with the people that didn't make the cut. So we were pretty good, but
It's like a plot to a movie.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And then they go win.
Yeah. I mean, if they would have won, that would have been a really.
Yeah.
But I think that, it just caused a riff in kind of the local, because there was always just one team that went out for that city, and now there's two. Kind of the bad boys of soccer or bad girls of soccer.
Yeah.
You guys watch Ted Lasso? We've talked about that.
Yeah.
I've seen the first season.
Yeah.
I watched the first season. I
trying to
actually
think
did not watch the second season.
I didn't see the second season either. I was trying to think of my favorite soccer movie. Not as many as other sports. Been It Like Beckham. Did you ever see that?
No.
That's a good movie. Why are you
Yeah.
laughing? Because it's a girls.
No, not because it's a girls. I haven't seen it. I've heard the name.
Yeah.
Oh, Ladybugs with Rodney Dangerfield. That was a fun one.
I think there was one where Will Ferrell was a coach.
Oh,
watched
yeah.
that,
Kicking
yeah.
and screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. His coffee scene in there was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a fun quote from Pope John Paul II.
Oh,
He says, of course they call it football, of all the unimportant things, football is the most important.
God, spoken like a European.
All the most important things.
He's basically
Of
saying,
all the
look, I know it's not
unimportant,
important, but of all the unimportant things, it's the most important.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. That's a fun quote.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Be cool applied to something else.
Huh.
You know, I would say that about football or something.
Here,
Mhm.
but you're just saying,
He's talking about soccer.
yeah.
We both would say football.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it originated from a Chinese sport called Cuju, Cuju. They similar kicking a ball. They had to go through a net, but there was no goalkeeper. You just had to get it through the hole in the net. And it kind of, that was around 2nd, 3rd century BC. So even during Jesus' time, there was some soccer going on.
Looks a little bit like basketball, the way the net is there.
Yeah. It's like you got to kick it. Yeah, it's a square,
Yeah.
and you got to just kick the ball through the square. Got to kick it pretty high, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get to the top thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Through that hole right up
I
there.
wonder what the ball
That'd be
was
pretty
like.
fun
Yeah.
to watch. Like, you would see you have to be really good.
Yeah, you got to be able to kick it high. Got to do
Yeah.
a lot of bicycle kicks.
Yeah.
Headbutts even.
Yeah. I don't know if you could hit it with your head back then, but
That ball probably so heavy.
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah.
rock.
Yeah.
modern soccer came about in 1863. That's when the Football Association was formed in Europe. And the reason it's called soccer and not football, everybody thinks that's an American word. It's not. It was a British word. So it was invented by Oxford students. They called soccer associated football. It's still called associated football. But then there was rugby football. So people were getting confused which football they're talking about. So they shortened rugby to rugger, and they shorted association to a soccer,
Okay.
which I know is a little stretch. And then later shortened it to just soccer.
Interesting. Yeah.
But it never even took off there because it became so popular that if you called it football, everybody knew you were just talking about
Okay.
what you were talking about.
It never
Yeah.
really competed enough with rugby to.
to stick, but
Okay.
somehow it's stuck here.
And it really makes more sense than what we call football, since we barely touch it with our feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty big part of the game, I'd say.
I mean, they do it a lot, but I mean, it's like,
Is it?
You kick off and then you kick field goals.
Well, you're also running around a bunch. That's your feet.
Yeah, but all right.
But you're running. Yeah. You're really running all the sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
That's
yeah.
true.
Why did we call football? And that
I don't know.
I'll look that
Maybe
up.
it came.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that it stemmed from a rugby type thing.
yeah, that I could see that.
Yeah, like they called it rugby football, right?
Yeah.
So it probably stemmed from that here.
That's where the soccer came from.
Mhm.
But then, yeah, why do we call it soccer then? And then
Somehow it's stuck here, but not in. And we're not the only country that calls it soccer. I thought we were the only country. I think Australia calls it soccer. I think there's 2 or 3 other English-speaking countries that call it soccer.
yeah, soccer is a good name.
Yeah,
It's a fun word.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you sock it, soccer.
yeah,
soccer, like you're hitting a lady.
yeah.
Well,
That is, soccer.
Oh, like yeah,
Yeah,
That's how you
Soccer.
describe the word.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Some guy's not getting it. and you
Yeah.
go, you know how you hit women all the time? What do you do to her? He goes, I socked her. And he goes, soccer. All
Yes.
right.
Yes.
it's such a popular sport worldwide. A war broke out because of a soccer match, 100-hour war, or the football war as it's called, between El Salvador and Honduras. And there was some questionable calls in this World Cup qualifying match that people got so upset that they started rioting and fighting. And then international relations between these two countries just got so out of hand that a war broke out. And after a little bit over 3 days, they worked out a peace agreement and got things straightened out. But people died from it.
That's crazy.
I like that. I mean, it's like stop making bad calls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I wish that would happen a little more these days. We get a lot of bad calls out here, and then we just sweep it under the rug.
But it's why, I mean, how do you ever even get a ref? Like, how could you ever possibly get, or no, they call an umpire in soccer?
I don't even know.
But how could you ever get someone to do that ever again? If you're, they kill someone and all that stuff. And
Oh, yeah. There was one riot. There's been a few where people have died. The worst, 300 fans died. 500 injured between Peru and Argentina.
Crazy.
When I was a kid, we had encyclopedias, and then because we bought this set, every year we would get a yearbook. So it would be everything that kind of big events that went on in the year. Because there was no internet, so you would get these updated things. And I remember looking through one year, and it was it showed a picture, and it was talking about a soccer game where it got so many people showed up to this game that the seats got really crowded and people got smushed up against the fence.
Yeah.
And it had a picture, and people died, they suffocated, and the picture was people smushed up against, and it haunted me for
Yeah.
years
Well, it
of my
should.
Still
childhood.
does. It sounds
Still
like
does,
Yeah.
That's terrible.
yeah, that would do that. I mean, that's.
I mean, it's
that
just
haunts
right
me
there
now.
in the yearbook. Yeah.
Where did that game take place?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I just
What
remember.
yearbook was this?
It's you get the set of encyclopedias,
Yeah.
and then each year you would get a
Oh.
new. So it's probably in the 90s sometime,
Mhm.
early 90s.
Man.
I mean, the picture was just right there. People trying to climb over the fence, and yeah, it was
That's
just
us every year on Black Friday.
yeah.
Well, that's next week's episode.
People getting
But
trampled.
yeah, that just happened in South Korea. A few weeks ago, there was some type of big
Oh,
festival,
yeah,
and
I heard
That's
about
right.
that,
people
yeah.
got out of hand
Yeah.
and people die. You'll like this one, Dusty. So a soccer match in Congo between these two teams, and a thunderbolt struck the field, killed all 11 players on one team. Other team, nobody got hurt. And the rumor is a voodoo doctor did some black magic on the visiting team.
Wow.
With a K?
I don't know if this is just this is magic,
Yeah.
magic. So it's not with a K. And did a voodoo curse on the other team.
Wow.
This sounds like a government hit, and they're covering it up.
But how do they? But I mean, it's lightning
I like where you're
striking
going with
a
that.
thing.
I was going to say that's more your angle.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
Oh, what'd you say?
Were they
Hey.
filming? When was this?
This
Uh,
was 1998.
98?
Yeah.
So do they have footage of this?
It's in the Congo. I bet they don't. I don't think this was like a big, like,
Aaron said it
attended
sounds
match.
like a government hit.
Well, this
that
is
they're
one
covering up.
government, they kill an entire team. Like, oh, it was a big bolt of lightning. And everyone goes, okay, I guess there's no video
But
evidence.
I mean, I guess if it
30 other
struck-
people got burned. It says.
if it struck the other, just like one side of the field,
Wow.
that's crazy. Golly, that's how many games are happening though of soccer. Is that you would probably hear about this stuff more or crazy stuff like this happening like football or something like that. But you're not playing the amount of games. These guys, it's all over the world, and there's just 250 million people playing it. I mean, that is how many people? There's 8 billion people. I mean, it's got to be the most.
We just hit 8 billion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 98, it's voodoo. Now it's climate change, right? It would be like, people would be like, the weather's out of control. They're
Jesse's like, nah, it's just some old voodoo.
Yeah, because this has happened for years.
Hey, nothing but some voodoo.
Yeah.
So now the World Cup started. It's in Qatar this year. And
Cutter.
oh, I thought it was Qatar.
I don't know. I just said what he said.
I thought Qatar, and then everybody started calling it Qatar, and then I'm like, I'm not really sure.
On the news, they were calling it Qatar.
Okay.
But, that's the media.
Which news are we talking
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's the Lebanon news.
They're down there in Qatar this weekend.
We're all. I don't know if you guys been watching that soccer match over in Qatar, but
We don't like any word with a Q that doesn't have a U next to it.
Yeah.
they said
It is unsettling.
it's hot there, from what I hear,
It's the weather report.
and no women. That's all the guy knows. Who won the match? He goes, I don't know. I know it's hot and no women in Qatar.
Well, it is so hot there that it's the first World Cup held in the wintertime because it's so hot.
In the summer,
You couldn't.
couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's still so hot there, even now, that all the stadiums have air conditioning piped in to cool the field and the fans. It's the equivalent to 45,000 air conditioners going.
How? Oh, it's 73 degrees right
73
now.
degrees.
But it's-
Oh,
it
it feels
now,
lovely.
Yeah.
But during the day, it's probably
Yeah, it's nighttime there. I think
Yeah.
even during the day, it's getting pretty warm. They said the winter's the most humid time of year there.
Oh, so dry. It's a
Oh.
wet heat.
yeah. So it'll be 82,
Up
83.
to 80s, yeah.
But in the summertime, it's like 120.
Yeah.
Yeah.
World Cup's the most viewed sporting event in the world. Although it's amazing how you Google something and you get so many different answers. It seemed like that would be pretty cut and dry. More things I read said World Cup, but some things said the Olympics. A few things said Tour de France.
Who's watching Tour de France?
Yeah.
3.5 billion people, according to this article.
I just refuse to believe that.
I don't know if I believe that.
I think
Yeah.
you're flipping by and you look at it for a minute and then
Yeah.
you go, yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. Do you watch the World Cup or do you watch the Tour de Lebanon, the one that's got named after one place? Like no one's, you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
like the World Cup, the Olympics are like, it's not about, and they're like, no, a lot of people are watching the Tour de France.
Well, it is like the World Cup of cycling, but it's like, who cares? I mean, it's like
Yeah,
the
I
most
understand that,
boring
but it's
TV.
still, it's like it's just done in one place. The
Yeah.
World Cup moves around. Like there's way more things to be intriguing and more want to watch more.
Definitely.
Because Tour de France it's in France, I'd imagine. By the way, is it in France?
The Tour of France, yeah.
Okay. I was like in my head, I'm like, unless I'm just gonna get there. Like, dude, he doesn't know. The France means bicycle pedal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I didn't know that. Tour de bicycle pedal.
it doesn't dip into Spain or anything at one point.
Well, I don't know that, but I'm not
It's just around France.
necessarily disagreeing with you, guy. I'm just telling you, there's articles out there that say it's the most viewed, and
It doesn't seem fun to watch. I will say
Tour
that.
de France.
Yeah, watching people ride bikes. I mean, maybe the last little bit.
I think if you knew what was happening, like anything, it would be pretty.
I guess so.
Could.
I mean,
It's
I know
pre-
it's
it's pretty
tough to ride a
special.
bike. I mean, I biked
Mhm.
for a couple of years. I mean, it's tough to do.
Yeah, you were a bike like that bicyclist.
Well, not like that. I mean, I sold my car for 2 years.
Yeah.
and
Oh.
and rode a bike everywhere.
Yeah.
Did you ever wear the suit?
No,
Like the
I
Neil
did wear the
Armstrong?
helmet,
No,
but
Lance
never.
Armstrong.
How
I
long?
never had the body for the suit.
How long does the Tour de France go?
Too long.
Oh yeah, look up how long it is.
Because maybe if
long.
it's like really lengthy, that's how they add up so many people.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
it could be
like
the same
Olympics.
to a degree, or the World Cup to a degree.
Consists of 21 stages over the course of 23 days.
Wow.
Well, that's not even as long
So
as the
each
World
day
Cup.
is like a race. No, I mean it's gigantic. I mean, look, it's the only bike event we know, so I understand that. But it just, I can't imagine it's bigger than the World Cup. I mean, that's
So it goes all around France. Probably pretty fun to do. Probably nice. I mean, when I biked, it's like that's what I found amazing about biking. Is like you roll through a city on a bike and you really see things that you don't normally see.
Well, that's me with a bird scooter.
Yeah,
You know?
That's
yeah.
me
I
with
get the
walking.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
You really see it when you walk.
Well, I get the speed of a bike and the immersion
Right.
of walking. I'm
Walking
getting
is slow. You don't
best
get to
of
see
both.
as much. Yeah.
Not when I'm on a bird scooter.
Tour de France. I always thought it was funny. I tried to do a joke on this once, but it's like the only sport where it's like it would be like you watching the Super Bowl and they just let a Honda Accord drive around the field.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that important of a thing. And then there's just cars,
It's just active streets.
active streets. And I know the cars are like doing something, but I mean, they're just in the thick of it. And then the fans, because they walk into it. I mean, there's
the
no
time, yeah.
boundaries and they just can. And you're like, this is the biggest thing of my life. And then you just,
There's just civilians
yeah.
right on the side of the road.
Yeah. And then some of them, that one, I mean, there was a video of one walked out and just got drilled, and you like injure the person. The guy's bike breaks, he's done, and you're like,
It's like dominoes once it starts, because then they
yeah.
just all
bike
follow each other.
wipeouts are crazy.
mhm.
Well, you asked once on this podcast, I think, because we were looking at the most viewed, because it was like 3.5 billion people that watched the last World Cup. And you said, is that one event? Is that over all those weeks? And I don't think we ever got the answer. That's over like 3 weeks.
Is anybody glued to their TV watching 23 days of the Tour de France?
Oh,
No.
there has to be.
Well,
but,
a few, but
yeah.
I mean, I know some people are, but
There probably has to be a bit. I mean, yeah, it can't be. I would be shocked for it to be that much. But it's if you understand it, I think it's probably
You're
very
probably
great.
right.
But you
You're
got
probably right.
to. But I don't think most people know what's going
Not
What's
as
it
many
look
as
like
that.
to watch it though? What's the visual? Like, what kind of thing do you get? I mean, because look at the mountains in the background of this
Yeah.
picture. I mean,
yeah,
on. Yeah,
it looks
you're
nice.
Yeah. Well, you get Lance Armstrong. Like he had one time he cut across a path, and it was kind of crazy. Like something happened. He got ran off the road, and I mean those are bikes that can't go like off
They're
the
not
road. Like they're
all-terrain.
made
Yeah.
Right.
it's and so he just rides through like the grass and then has to jump and like go over this because they went it was like 2 curves and he got pushed into. So instead of like stop, he was like, well, I'm gonna just go. And the idea that his bike didn't break is crazy. And then he jumped up, grabbed it, set it back on his bike, and then caught back up.
wow.
And so you're seeing, I think, some stuff like that,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh wow, like it's, it's a free for all.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I'll give it a shot.
And these guys are like, I think the athleticism that they have it's just
How in shape they are.
how in shape,
It's
how close they
amazing.
are to each other.
Yeah.
And, it's like, you look at like NASCAR, like just about NASCAR, you're going 200 miles an hour and you're touching them. You're that close, but you're in a car at least. And these guys are, I don't know how fast they go. I mean,
Almost 200 miles an hour.
yeah, almost 200, but they go very fast and they are just next. I mean, you see them go through stuff and there's just no room. You could feel claustrophobic.
I mean, hearing you describe it is actually made it more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
As we're talking about, I can't believe who's watching this. And then you go through and it's like, oh, it seems pretty fun too.
I think so. But it's,
yeah, how's it not the most viewed?
yeah.
We've turned.
Yeah.
It's just, they do it every year. Right. And then,
I think so.
so it's, I don't know, but I would think the World Cup is,
Well, I would say out of 5 articles, 3 said the World Cup, 1 said Olympics.
How
1
many said MASH finale?
I would say Olympics are going down.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're having like all these other sports, and you're just kind of like, I think you get Olympics, you get swimming's great,
And then America just takes the best people from every other country, and then we just dominate everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think swimming is like probably the track and field and swimming are just kind of like the only ones that you're. Basketball, I don't know how much we care anymore. Like when you're watching it, like
I just watched the 30-30 on the Redeem team.
I just watched that
Yeah.
too. Yeah, it was
good.
really cool.
Yeah.
yeah. When was that?
2008.
Yeah. When they because they lost.
They lost in 2004.
Yeah.
In 2004, it was LeBron and Carmelo
Yeah.
Anthony, and when they were all young guys.
And Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
And Dwayne Wade when they were young,
Yeah.
new players. 2008, they were all veterans, and they brought Kobe in.
Brought in Kobe.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It was pretty cool
Yeah.
when they brought in Kobe.
Yeah.
So they lost in 2004?
Yeah.
To who?
Was it Argentina or Spain? It was
Um,
Spain.
was it Spain?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think so.
Basketball is a chance to maybe get pretty interesting because there's so many of these players from other countries that basketball in the Olympics actually probably could start getting back to like. I mean, it might be now or close because it's like I think there's a lot of teams that are a lot better, but where you're going to be like, oh, if the other countries start like really compete, before it was like fun, you go blow them out, whatever, and then
Yeah, I mean, that's what I assumed. I had no idea. I just assumed we dominated basketball every time.
That's because we did for so long. And
Yeah.
then this happened. I don't think it was Spain they lost to. But anyway, yeah, then we picked it back up.
I think it was Greece or somebody. Or
2008 just dominated.
and if we lost, we haven't lost since then, or
No, we won in 2012, 2016. But that championship game wasn't a. I mean, Spain was tough.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one story about Kobe that I love. They said that they went out partying one night, and everybody had a great time, so much fun. It came in like it was 4 or 5 in the morning.
They're in Vegas training.
Yeah, Vegas training. They go out and party, have a wonderful time. Dwayne Wade, I think, is telling this story. And then they come back into their hotel like 4 or 5 in the morning, and Kobe's in the lobby lacing up his sneakers, and he's got like on weighted vest.
Weightlifting gloves.
Yeah, weightlifting. And they're like, what are you doing? And he's leaving to go work out. He was the only one that didn't go out and party with them. And they said that kind of changed their mindset because he was taking it so serious. And then pretty soon they all started getting up and working out. And by the end of the week or something, they were all doing it.
Yeah.
that's
So they got on the elevator. They were like, was he serious?
Yeah.
Was he going to work out right now? It's
I
crazy.
love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Carmelo said, I never got up that early, but I did start getting up.
Yeah.
But anyway, the World Cup, the last World Cup in 2018, 3.5 billion people watched it. The final match between France and Croatia, 1.12 billion people watched that match.
Wow.
That's like Taylor Swift numbers.
Yeah.
Only 8 countries have won the World Cup. That was kind of surprising to me. Only 2 continents.
That's crazy. How many World Cups have been played?
Started in 1930, so it hadn't been around forever, but however, every 4 years since 1930.
So it's what, Europe and South America?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I would have guessed those 2 if you said there's only 2, but it's amazing. Like Asia, nobody in Asia has won a World Cup. Only 8 countries. Brazil's won 5 times. Germany and Italy have won 4. Argentina, Uruguay, and France twice. And Spain and England once.
In the United States this year.
Yep. So this year, the format, there's 32 teams.
Oh, that's it.
That's a rallying cry for.
Yeah, you have to qualify.
Oh yeah.
So there's 32 teams, and I barely understand this, but there's 4 teams in 8 different groups. And the 2 top teams from each one of those advance to the 16. And then once you get to 16, it's single elimination.
Oh. So and how many? Like, so you're in your. So it's like the AFC South.
Yeah, kind of like that.
And so how many games do you play?
You play each team once, I believe, and you get 3 points for a win, 2 for a tie, and 1 for a loss. And then the 2 top teams with the most points advance.
Yeah. And if there's a tie, they have to play again or something. Or,
Why not do 2 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, and 0 points for a loss?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I may be wrong. I'm making all this stuff up, but I think that's what I read. Could you look that up to
Yeah.
see? But I don't know if they if there's 2 teams have the same amount of points. I don't know what they do.
Well, I'm sure maybe it doesn't work out like that. But yeah.
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, for every win, a team earns 3 points, and a tie earns 1 point. Teams do not get a point for a loss. Okay.
Oh, so
All
I'm
right.
talking
So
about-
it was kind of we were both right.
Okay.
Yeah, only rather to the
And
group
wrong.
stage. Yep.
So
If teams are tied after 3 matches.
Tiebreakers are determined by a goal difference, then goals scored, and finally the head-to-head matchup.
okay.
So there's
There
there's
you
a,
go.
there's a whole system in place.
So this year is by far the costliest World Cup in history. $220 billion. They built 7 new stadiums in Qatar. 7 brand new stadiums for this event. And
Well, it seems like everything's going great. World's got no problems. You know what I mean? We're just getting it done out here.
so the big So there's no alcohol in Qatar, and they made a deal with FIFA that you couldn't sell it. Well, maybe you could sell it in the stadium. I thought
was
there were certain stations, I guess, set up that you could still buy beer. Budweiser's the sponsor, and then last minute, I guess king or whatever it is of Qatar said no alcohol, period.
Oh, wow.
And this was just a day or two ago. They made this surprise announcement. So now Budweiser has like 20 million cases of beer, and they said they're going to donate it to the winning team.
Oh, really?
It's like sitting there in a warehouse.
I love the king there. I don't know what he does, but that move seems fun. It's like a bold move there
Yeah.
at the end, being like, nah, I know you want to do it, but I'm not going to let you.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the king there, but I like that move.
He said he watched the podcast, and you talked about how much it's changed your life, and he's like, "Nah."
Yeah.
Well, there was something like with a cruise ship or something like.
So the England, I think that's what you're about to talk about.
Yeah.
England's wags, wives and girlfriends, are on a $1 billion cruise ship called the Party Palace, and because it's in international waters, Qatar can't do anything about it. So they're just living it up on this ship the whole time they're there, and they can do whatever they want because women can't sunbathe in Qatar, and there's a lot you can't do. But as long as they're on this ship, they can do whatever they want.
Oh, so when they go to the game, they gotta.
Go to the game, they got to straighten up.
Yeah,
But once they get on the
straighten up,
ship,
yeah.
things get crazy.
Imagine you go plan this trip. You're going to drink the whole time. And that's what you do. You drink and watch soccer. And you love soccer. But then you're in Qatar watching this sober and you realize you don't really like soccer.
Yeah.
You're like, I love it when I'm drinking. But when you're like there sober going, what do I like about this?
Yeah. Now, I'd imagine there's gonna be some good people have some real conversations with themselves to be like,
Yeah.
it was really about the hang.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you would think people wouldn't go to it. I mean, there's going to be enough people that are going to want to go to it, but especially that live there.
They didn't make this announcement till people already got there.
Yeah,
A lot of people arrived and they found out when they got there. And like, oh boy.
I wonder if you could, and it's like you can't get you got to just be willing to, I guess, go like, look, they're their own thing. That's what's crazy is it's funny to think about like in America, and you want to go, yeah, this is welcome to the world, like where they're just the guy's like, no, done. It's crazy.
Do
I
they
think-
sell beer at Vanderbilt games?
No,
Yeah.
we had a king, and he said no.
Do they at Notre Dame?
No, because it's on campus. I think if it's off campus,
Ours is on campus too.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they
Yeah, I
changed
didn't
that.
think you could drink at college games at all for a long time. We would have to sneak stuff in when we wanted to
We would
drink.
do that.
I think you can now.
Okay.
I think at University of Tennessee you can, can't you?
Yeah, I think they passed it where like you could. I mean, they should. I mean,
I remember being at a
it's
game.
always crazy how some of them hold on to some of this stuff, but then they all which I understand, like maybe a tradition or something you don't want, but then they start making the money from it, and then you're like, are there like
Oh,
stopping
yeah.
this money source of just being like, well, you could.
I had a pair of binoculars that were fake.
Oh,
Fill
yeah.
fill up with liquor, bring that into the game, and there were spotters that their whole job was just to catch kids doing exactly that.
Oh,
They would
really?
just sit there in the crowd and look, and then they'd rat on you, and so.
And
if
so
could
you'd be right down front with your beer goggle binoculars.
Yeah, it was just so funny. Who brings actual binoculars to a college football game? I don't think
Yeah.
anybody does.
I think we would do
Did
that
they work?
because you'd be in the
No,
upper
it was
deck.
just,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
plastic. Just
Oh,
it was.
that'd be
Just,
funny. You go through it, and it's like wall. You just see like the side of a cruise ship
Yeah,
window.
yeah,
You just see like a little, And he's like, that's crazy. He goes, oh, the stuff inside that makes it zoom might have broke or something.
Yeah, it's a liquid zoom.
It's liquid zoom, just kind of probably smashed.
I saw a Gamecocks game one time. We snuck in some mini bottles, and me and a buddy of mine, we had one big cup. We bought one big cup and shared a bourbon and Coke. We didn't even want to spend money on Cokes.
Yeah.
Just in there, two dudes, one cup, just drinking it up.
2 dudes, 1 cup. Yeah. So
It was great. We had a great time.
Yeah.
I think
We had a very fun time.
I think at yesterday's opening match, it was Mexico or someone. They started chanting from the stands, "We want beer," in Spanish, however that translates. So it's a big deal over there.
Are they in jail now?
I don't know, but the
Lightning struck it.
Yeah.
people
Lightning struck
Ecuador.
specifically one seat. Surprisingly, that guy was he stunk beer in. Man, that's crazy. What are the odds of that? They have a lightning. They just have a thing that shoots lightning out.
Yeah. Voodoo.
Yeah.
Cuermos
Cerveza.
Cuermos Cerveza. We want beer. I mean, I wonder, there has to be a way.
The chants and the songs, that is one part I really like about soccer culture.
Yeah.
Singing a song in a crowd. I love that. There needs to be more of that. And
you have
at a football game.
Things are like, we don't have a lot going on, so you have time to gather everybody together to start singing. You go, why are y'all singing? You're like, I mean, no one's shot a goal in 45 minutes. So I guess
let's get some songs going.
I just went around and I started talking to
tunes.
everybody.
Taught everybody the lyrics.
Taught everybody the lyrics. We all started doing it, and here we are.
The home country automatically gets to go, and they start the opening match. And I think I heard Qatar was the first home country to ever lose in the opening match.
Oh, really?
Who they play?
They played Ecuador. That's the game right there.
Okay.
Oh, and everybody probably loved that.
Probably.
It is crazy. You're like, why would they go do it? I mean, good for them to do it like that, but it's like, it is insane that you're like, I imagine alcohol sales are your most gigantic thing, and you just go to a place that says no.
But they're like in Qatar, though, they're like all so rich anyway, right? It's like, they don't need the money.
Yeah, I mean, they like $220 billion it's unreal, dude. That's so much. I mean,
I know.
The same for most of these college campuses, right? They all have the money.
But like the Titans are fighting to get a $2 billion stadium, and that's $220 billion for the World Cup.
And they're probably going to sell alcohol at the new Titan Stadium, right? If I had to guess.
I hope not.
Who's paying for it? Taxes?
Titan Stadium?
Yeah.
I mean, Titans said they'll chip in some. The state of Tennessee said they'll put in $500 million if it's a dome stadium.
It's I like being dome. It is funny though that it's like I'm thrilled that they're doing the stadium, but it is funny that they're like, Titans are like, I mean, we're chipping some. You're like, who's it for?
Right. All right.
But I guess they look at it as like, well, you're gonna do concerts and stuff there, but you want to be like, yeah, who, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll chip in.
Yeah.
There's going to be
I like the term chip in. We're going to be a major part of it.
I'm going to build a new house and then go, you going to pay for it? I'm not chipping.
Yeah.
Who's going to live in it? I will live in it, and you will not be allowed in it.
There's like a 1% hotel motel tax that the hotels have to pay. But they're like, the argument is, well, so many people are going to be coming in for events that you should pay more. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they're.
But I mean, so do we pay the taxes? Or?
I think some of it's still us.
Yeah.
The hotel motel tax
is a ticket. If we pay taxes, we should get free tickets.
It's a 1% increase on the hotel motel tax. But there's
free ticket a year.
One free ticket a year. That's nice.
Yeah.
Right in front of Brian's season tickets.
Yeah.
One row ahead of him.
Well, I don't take binoculars. I take a telescope. So
yeah. He has to call down and go, what's the score?
Yeah.
Can't see the jumbotron.
So the favorite this year to win is Brazil, and then followed by Argentina and France.
Who is Messi play for?
He's Italy, right?
No.
If you're a soccer fan, that's
I know.
That's
what makes Brazil so good.
What sport does LeBron play?
Well, the reason I can't keep up is because they're from a country and then they play for another country.
Yeah, that's the hard part with soccer. My brother listened to this and he's going to be like, "Are you kidding me?"
I know.
I asked Derek a lot of stuff. Derek knows everything about it, but it's
he's the captain of Argentina.
Yeah. And then, all right, I didn't do the Archie, but I get very confused on the leagues. That's it's like there's like the Premier League and Derek has told me this but I just always kind of it's like forget it.
Well, yeah,
it
they play
seems like
over,
a lot.
They play over in Europe, but then there's guys from South America that play over there, so it gets confusing.
It seems like a lot
for us,
is what it But
but we know every football player, where they went to college, where they're playing pro, and where they played in high school.
Yeah. Well, it's just here. But I do get, like I always because I asked Derek about that, like Messi. Like Messi's like they consider him like the best ever. Like the way he got, I think they signed him on do you have the thing where they said we talk about that?
We've talked about signed him on a napkin or something.
On a napkin, and like so, it's when he was like 14.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked up greatest soccer player of all time. Again, there's some different answers, but the majority of polls I saw said Pele is the greatest soccer player of all time. He was the most famous person in the world in the 60s. He was
more than the Beatles, dude. You think?
Well, that's a group. Maybe he's
more than Paul McCartney, dude.
I don't know. I just read that.
I bet he could be. I mean, soccer, dude. Those guys, the Beatles watched him.
Maybe this is before the Beatles blew up. I just said there was a period of time in the 60s. They said
I believe it, but I'm saying that I cannot tell you what Pele looks like now. But I know what the Beatles look like.
Well, he's still around.
What do you think makes like Brazil, like they've won the most, right? That's what you said. Like, and then they're favored to win again. What makes them the best? Why are they so good?
Just their culture. I mean, I think they don't
have TVs.
but I mean, some of these other places, their culture would have to be around soccer too, right?
Well, there are. They don't win every year, but somebody's always going to have won the most. It's not like they've just dominated, but they have won the most.
It's that they produce the best soccer players, I guess. Like, football, you can have like a lot of players come out of Florida or, big men come out of Iowa. I did point I go.
I think about to say, where are you from?
Yeah. But it's like Iowa is like Nebraska is like that's the offensive linemen come out of there.
They always say corn fed, but I'm like, we're all eating corn out here.
Yeah.
But I would say Alabama is so dominant football because in Alabama there ain't a lot else going on. So they care so much about it that they will always find a way to take it really, really serious.
See, there's more of a cultural appetite for it than people are going to be more willing to sink resources into it. And people are going to...
It's so important to them.
It's going to be ingrained in people young. Also, the argument always is, and I'm sure people disagree with this, but people always say, I always heard this growing up, that America's best athletes don't play soccer. They play other sports.
Giannis has a joke about that.
Yeah.
What is it?
Giannis probably.
He talked about like if you better not be
LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron was a goalie or something.
He's like, everyone makes fun of us, but just you're lucky that we don't have our best guys go like LeBron. We dominate that too. Which I don't know if that's true, but the USA, you would think we're never close to the best in soccer. It's because we don't care as much.
Right.
But I bet it could start going that way, and you're gonna see a shift with just the fact of football. Like they don't want the kids playing football to get hurt and all this, and how crazy it is that you could see with soccer that you're like, all right, this sport is, football's so fast, so it's great, but it's like people are like, people get really hurt. It's like scary injuries and all this kind of stuff, and soccer, like it's not. These guys play and they're not usually injured. I don't think crazy and they're the most famous people.
You don't hear
on
a lot
the
of
planet.
Concussions with soccer, I imagine.
Yeah, if US,
you hear some though,
but not like the NFL.
They're hitting the ball against their head.
Yeah,
it's a header.
You get kicked to the head sometimes, or headbutt at each other.
But I'm just saying, like in comparison, it's
yes,
probably not nearly as many.
Yeah.
So the top player, FIFA awards that like the MVP. It's called I can't say this. Ballon d'Or winner. Messi has won the most.
Balloon. I think it's Balloon d'Or. Okay. Wait, what is it? Maybe I know it.
Balloon d'Or?
How do you let me look at it? Balloon d'Or. Is that right? Ballon d'Or? Ballon. Oh, that's way off.
Jimmy Ballon.
Ballon. Okay. Well, the guy who's won the most, Messi. He's won 7.
Wow.
Cristiano Ronaldo's won 5.
What's this award?
It's the best player, like the MVP. Messi's won 7. He's won the most. Ronaldo's won 5. But the award was only given to European football players up until 1995. So Pele never had a chance to win it. They went back and looked and said, if he were in the running, he would have won 7 also.
So yeah, that's the conversation. Those 3 guys.
Well, Messi's just going to be Messi's playing now. I mean, like Pele, most people are not going to remember. I mean, he's from the 60s. So I don't know who Pele. Like, I mean, I know who Pele is because he's Pele. But that's what's crazy. Everybody probably knows who Pele is just because of the name Pele.
In Brazil, they said they're so famous they just go by one name.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
There was a Ronaldo before this Ronaldo.
So is there lots of teams in Brazil, and then they all come together to play in the World Cup?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't really know how big Brazil is.
It's pretty big.
I don't have
Yeah,
a
it's
real
pretty big.
concept.
Yeah.
So like in the
It's like
U.S.,
Rhode Island.
we have
Is it like Rhode Island?
It's massive.
Oh, okay.
the most famous American player. Do you guys know?
Mia Hamm.
David Beckham.
I would say Mia Hamm. Dave Beckham's an American.
Well,
I have no. That's the only soccer player I know.
I could see I could see Mia Hamm, but you talking about men?
men, yeah.
I'm shocked to find out he's not American. I've been believing
what's
that this whole
the,
time.
He played in America towards the end of his career.
Okay.
He got brought over and played in MLS.
There's that redhead dude.
So to answer your question, David Beckham.
Probably not him.
Yeah.
David Beckham is by far, they said, the most famous Major League Soccer player we ever had. Because, like you said, he came over at the end of his career and played for LA Galaxy. And
Okay. So a trick question,
Well,
really.
my famous-
Landon Donovan.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. There you go.
Landon Donovan's the most accomplished Major League Soccer player of all time. The MVP award is called the Landon Donovan MVP Award
For the Major League
for
Soccer.
Major League Soccer. Now, there's a guy, maybe here, you're talking about Christian Pulisic.
No. The
There was a
redhead guy.
who's now a commentator.
Yeah.
I
That
like
guy was. But no, Christian Pulisic. Yes, that's who I've heard about. He's the most famous now, right?
And he'll be the best ever, right? Now we're just going to
It's been a real geography lesson.
But he's
in
20.
Brazil,
He's
man.
24 years old. It's almost like when Tiger was 24. You know, Jack Nicklaus was probably still considered the greatest golfer, but Tiger was so dominant. They're like, well, this guy's clear.
Yeah. Kristen's probably going to. Pulisic's going to do that, but he's still not even. But he's still not even the best player in the world, though. Like not even close. Like that's what's crazy. He's in the conversation of best in the world. Oh, we gotta.
So he's playing for
we got a good little guy.
Yeah. So he's playing for the U.S. World Cup team. There's 2 guys from Nashville SC on the World Cup team.
That's cool.
There we go.
So we're doing
I
good.
love that we're discussing soccer and there's people like off camera that know more about what we're talking about.
Well, that's true every week.
It must
but
be.
it's
Yeah,
just-
so that's true.
This whole this has been infuriating for him. Right? Just listen. You're hearing, what team does Messi play for?
Yeah.
He woke
I
up
think
just
he's
like,
American.
no.
Yeah. David
Yeah.
Beckham's American.
I'm
Everyone-
just learning Brazil is a big country.
I
I
know.
mean,
I know.
There's a lot I don't know.
I know. All right. So, greatest moments in soccer history. 2 I found were in the same game, 4 minutes apart.
Mhm.
So, Diego Maradona of Argentina, it's called the Hand of God. In the 86 World Cup, he knocked the ball into the goal using a little bit of his hand, and the referees. And it's called the Hand of God. It's maybe the most famous moment in soccer history. The jersey worn by him in that game sold for $9.3 million at auction earlier this year.
The comments of this video are very funny. Maradona is the only sportsman who dominated in 2 sports, football and volleyball.
The ball from that goal, the ref somehow kept it, even though he's the one that messed it up. He sold it at auction for $2.4 million. He said it hoped that the buyer will put it on public display. So he didn't put it on public display. He sold it for $2 million, and then he hopes whoever bought it will do that.
Yeah, to get its life back after making
It
that
looks
bad
like he
goal.
put his hand above his head, and then he just kind of pops it through.
He barely touches it, but it was enough to.
To me, that's pretty clear. His hand touched
Yeah.
it, right? Yeah, but it was God, huh?
Now, 4 minutes later, in the same match, the same guy had the goal of the century. And
The same guy.
same guy,
Wow.
4 minutes later, and he marches the ball all the way down and just runs through everybody, and then kicks 6 scores, goes nuts.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I can do it without my hands
Yeah.
too, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have video of that.
Wow.
So Forbes did their highest paid athletes
I remember the one I remember is the guy that headbutted the guy
Zidane
in the chest.
Zidane. Yeah,
Yep.
I remember watching that.
Yep.
And that was
that
I watched that whole thing. I mean, it gets super exciting, dude. Like when you watching the World Cup is super fun. I mean, it's and especially when it gets like down to the the final teams, and it's just such a big thing that you're like, yeah, I'll watch it. And that dude headbutted that guy. I remember watching this live.
Was this a consequential game?
Yeah, it might have been in the
Wow.
Yeah, it might have been the I want to say it was almost the final game.
Yeah.
I want to say it was the championship game.
I don't think it was the championship.
This guy get kicked out of the game?
Yeah.
Look and see what game it was.
Red card.
Apparently the guy said something about his sister.
Oh, okay.
It was yeah. It's like you want to go like after this happens, someone does that, then it's like then they do a story like, well, apparently he said something about his sister. You're like, who knows any like
Yeah, you got to hold it together.
Yeah. But it was. Yeah, see if it was at the last game.
It was the
Italy
FIFA
and France.
World Cup final, 2006.
Yeah, I was watching it. Yeah, well, I wouldn't have been watching like the third.
They tied?
France
Prelims.
It
Yeah.
ended in a tie?
Italy won 5-3 on penalties. So
Oh.
France,
Oh, so
he
it's
was
a
on.
great game.
He was on France. It was awesome, and I remember watching it live, and I remember like when he did that, and they because they had it on TV, and you're like, can you? And you don't know, and you're like, can you do that? Are you allowed to just do that? Like hit them like that? And you're like, you just know something's wrong.
Mhm.
And then it was like, yeah. It was, I remember that. Crazy.
So Forbes does their highest paid athletes, every year for 2022. 3 of the top 5 are soccer players.
Wow.
Messi's number 1. He's worth 130 million.
So this is net worth?
Or what
Or
they
is it
get paid this
annual
year.
earnings?
Oh,
Probably annual earnings.
the
Their
annual
net worth
earnings.
is
They
more.
get more in endorsements than they even do in salary. He's number 1. And Ronaldo's number 2, 115 million.
Ronaldo is like a freak. I mean, it looks like if you designed a man. It's, I mean, he's like a doll. Like it's absolutely insane, dude.
He has like 500 million Instagram followers.
It's nuts. It's truly like looks
crazy.
like a doll. Like he looks like he is Ken. He's better than Ken, actually. Ken
wasn't the best athlete ever.
Yeah.
You know?
Ken's body was not as good as Ronaldo. I mean, Ken would be, yeah. I mean, it's absolutely insane how like, and I think I don't know much about him. It seems I watched a couple things on him, and he seems like a great guy. And that's based on. Have you heard? Do you know that, or if he's a good dude? But like, I think he does a lot of stuff with kids. Like,
He's had a lot of plastic surgery.
oh, he's had a lot of plastic surgery.
Well, Ken is
well, there you
Ken's
go.
100% plastic.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that, but he still looks. So that helps then. But he keeps is the most amazing shape of
Yeah.
It's always fine. It's all
Those are-
fake. You're like, oh, he's only like 5'8". You're like,
Yeah.
is he? He has legs. He got other people's legs.
Those are ab implants.
neck
too.
stretches.
He put children's legs on him. You're like
Stretch
on
out
his
that-
own body. You're like he's a real bad guy now. You go.
He's got a neck, that dude.
But I've seen like videos of him like with kids and like he'll run back to them and stuff. I mean, and you got to know the impact he's having on that kid is
Mhm.
because it's there's no one more famous. But it's crazy to be that famous. Like Messi, he's probably more famous than Messi.
It's close,
You
right?
don't think so? I don't know. But I mean, because you got to count everybody in soccer that knows Messi knows him. Now you got to talk about the outside of soccer. I don't think people really know who Messi is. But Cristiano Ronaldo has been on commercials, and you just hear his name.
Could you switch
and-
seats with him?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Oh yeah.
Could you sit here and Dustin go over there?
yeah, I'll run a camera. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know either of these names. So if you're looking at someone who doesn't know anything about soccer, but I mean, that to me, I've never heard either of these names. Honestly, maybe I've heard Messi, but
Yeah.
maybe
You've heard the word messy.
Yeah.
You're being
people
messy.
say that about me a lot. Yeah.
Messy Slay.
What? What's the rest of the list?
I think LeBron was number 2. Ronaldo was 3. Neymar's 4th.
I just wanted to see some comparison, like how much money they're making as opposed to athletes I know. LeBron obviously is way up there.
Well, Neymar we didn't even mention, but he makes $95 million a year.
Who's another
yeah.
athlete that I would know that's close?
There was a lot of basketball player. Roger Federer, tennis player, was up there.
Yeah.
Giannis was up there.
So just for some comparison, so we just said that Ronaldo has 500 million followers on Instagram. Yeah, LeBron has 137 million.
Wow.
And Instagram's the only thing that matters.
It's a
Well,
good
that's
indicator.
a big deal, though. I mean, yeah. I mean,
I know it is. I'm joking.
470 million more.
Mhm.
Yeah, 370.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys.
So there's a documentary, and I think it may be a 30-30 called The Two Escobars. And it's about Colombia and how Pablo Escobar was bringing fear on the country and everyone was scared to death of him. But then on the Colombian national team, there was Andres Escobar, and he was bringing hope and joy, and they were getting excited and some national pride. And then in the 1994 World Cup, he accidentally knocked the ball deflected into his own goal, and they lost the match. And then 2 weeks later, when he came home to Colombia, some drug cartel people shot him in his car.
Oh my god!
And they said goal every time they fired a shot.
Wow.
So
The goalie?
no, he wasn't the
I
goalie.
checked out the whole time you read all that. I was not even.
See, I thought you'd be into it because you like Pablo.
I was into it. I was thinking of something else, and my brain was gone.
So this guy's last
Yeah.
name's Escobar.
Yeah.
He was on the Colombia soccer
Man,
team.
We're making so many people re-listen to this. It's so funny.
He
Everybody's just, they're like, yeah, dude, we didn't all not hear that.
he accidentally deflected the ball into his own goal,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
caused them to lose. 2 weeks later, when he's back home in Colombia, he gets murdered.
Yeah. I did know that.
I mean,
Never
not
mind, I heard.
I knew it the whole time.
I knew it the whole time. I said it very early. I go, did someone get killed with?
I guess not quite as bad as two countries going to war over a soccer game.
Mhm.
Like more people were killed, but that's obviously intense.
Mhm.
Did they do a 30 for 30 about that?
About that war?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a couple of famous fog matches. There was one where the goalie stood in the goal for 15 minutes after the game had been canceled because it was so foggy. He didn't know.
Wow.
Finally, a police officer came 15 minutes later up to him and said, "Why are you still here? Like the game's." And then he said he went in the locker room and everyone had already showered, and they started laughing. Like, "Where you been, dude?" He's like, "I didn't know. It was so foggy."
Yeah.
He goes, I couldn't see you.
They made sure to get a picture of him before they told him.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Snopes looked into it. That's not the actual guy,
No.
but they said it really did happen.
Yeah.
It really did happen. That's just
That's so
not the
funny.
actual photo of him.
Yeah.
And then there was another one many years later. This was after World War II when they were back to doing like friendly matches. It was Russia and England, 50,000 people in the stands. And it got so foggy that Russia started sending extra players out on the field and nobody could tell because it was so foggy.
That's awesome.
And I think both teams maybe they said did it, but
It's classic Russia.
it's crazy. There's some video of it. I think I maybe sent you.
Is friendly is
Like it doesn't count.
Yeah.
It's just exhibition, I guess.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
Maybe I didn't send to. I thought I sent you a video of the fog
I don't
match or
have
whatever.
that one.
Okay, my bad.
All good.
So the 2026 World Cup is in North America, and it's going to be in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada.
Ooh.
Oh.
So we're
Where
all
in the
sharing.
U.S.?
I think there's a few locations. I think Atlanta is hosting
Okay.
it.
Oh.
Nashville bid on it
Yeah.
and didn't make the final cut.
Yeah.
But I think the closest place to here is Atlanta.
And don't they send sometimes celebrities from those cities to go pitch their country?
I like what you're thinking, Aaron.
Yeah. I'm saying, okay, yeah. So are you going to ask Nate to make a pitch for Nashville?
Well, 2026 is out, but
Yeah.
maybe a future.
2030?
You know,
I mean,
Yeah,
if
when
you
they
were,
come back that quick, I mean, we're in trouble. Like,
if you
well,
pitch well enough.
it's already a bad start to this pitch. But
yeah.
I'm saying, let's say you were sent to represent Nashville. and you
Well,
had
I
to
think
talk
when
to
we
FIFA.
go to
All of us.
yeah,
We should all go.
when we go, I think by the time 2026 comes around, it's gonna look like we should have it in Nashville,
Yeah.
and that's what I would pitch it on. This is like you cannot pick us right now, and then in 2026 is going to look like you should have.
Yeah.
And by 20, and if you don't do us then, you do 2030.
We'll turn you down by that point.
2030, I don't know. Yeah, it might.
Yeah,
go-
we'll have our own World Cup
Yeah.
by then.
We're out.
Yeah, we are the World Cup,
Yeah.
and we need you. So we can either, you can either help us get to the level that we know we can get to, or you can don't let us figure it out on our own, or we will compete with you. I'm Nate Bargatze, and this is
A warning.
my World Cup. Yeah, this has been a warning. What's
Michael Scott.
Michael Scott?
What is it? He
You've
says
been warned.
you have 24 hours
He goes, and you have 20. Yeah,
or something like that. She's like, what does that mean? He's like, I don't know. They always say
yeah.
that.
Give us,
Or we were burned
Yeah.
Qatar to the ground. We're like, what?
yeah. Give us the World Cup in 2030, or you will be embarrassed. You have 24 hours.
Nashville, a place you can drink.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you seen Broadway? Give us the World Cup. We won it on an off year. You've been warned.
And
24 hours. I'll give you 48 hours to respond.
Yeah, until sundown.
You have till sundown. I need an answer now, or we're going to move on, and we're going to get the.
We'll
Tour
get the
de
Tour de
France.
France. Yeah.
I'm going to go to the Tour de France and go, hi, I'm Nate Bargatze. Y'all running this bike race in France. No one cares. Come do it in America, Nashville. You can either be with us or you can compete with us. You have 24 hours. And I'll go to every big sporting event.
Just
You
keep threatening them.
You just keep threatening every one of them. You know, I don't know what other yeah. Yeah, I don't know what other sports are, but pickleball championship. I'm Nate Bargatze.
Bring it here
He
or
goes,
die.
Yeah. We like pickleball, kind of, but I feel like we're going to love it. So either be here now and grow it with us,
Yep.
or be our competition.
Well, they're
You have 24 hours.
It's gonna be a big day tomorrow.
There's a lot of
phone calls tomorrow.
I'm making everybody crack your knuckles. We're gonna be responding to some emails.
I was going to say the 2026 one, they're expanding to 48 teams. So, in the host country, they, gets to do it, but there's 3 host countries. So I guess Mexico, US, and Canada, if your dad or your father-in-law still wants to coach,
Yeah.
They'll
I'm
have a
sure
team
he
in
does.
there. Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah,
get the girls back together.
Yeah.
get the girls back together.
Yeah. I'm sure we've infuriated a lot of soccer fans today.
That's okay.
What did we get anything wrong? Like how much stuff did we get?
He goes,
I'm out.
"Hey, where do I start?
Yeah.
It's gonna be another 2 hours correcting all the stuff we just did.
Yeah.
All right.
But we're
All right.
having fun. We're learning.
I feel like I learned a lot. I knew
what it's
nothing
all
about
about.
soccer,
Yeah.
and I learned a
Yeah.
lot. I learned about Brazil, and I learned about the Tour de France, and I learned a lot.
Did we
tonight.
get anything right? Okay. All right.
All right.
We'll figure it out.
I honestly, I want to watch soccer a little bit now. I
don't.
never do, and I'll phase out of it
Yeah, I
quick.
do.
But I want to watch it a little bit.
Did you say you don't?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
But
I think I enjoy it. I would need to wrap my head around the schedule and stuff more. And my brother will text me stuff. I started following some of it because Derek was so into it that I was like, all right, let me try to get into it. And I started following some alerts on some guys and Messi and it's like, all right, either these guys are wrapping their careers up. Maybe I do want to see them play and that kind of thing. I think I do it like that. It was like that with hockey at the beginning. Was like I remember, being like, all right, I watched Gretzky's last game because it was like I should be watching this.
I just don't think you or anybody has the bandwidth to follow multiple sports as closely as you would like college football. Like, can you really bring professional soccer into your life and I'll have to follow that now? It's like a whole different thing to keep up with.
It's a whole different thing to keep up with. It's I get the Nashville soccer alerts on my phone. I don't keep up with anything like I did. Like
Well, you got
it's very funny. You've
family
probably
and a
noticed this with
career.
sports. Since you've had a kid, it's changed.
This is the first year since the Titans been here. I don't have season tickets.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I feel like you before would be like, why are we not watching the game? You would tell me this. And I was like, I don't because you just lose interest. You were mean to me.
I have interest. The interest is the same. It's just that you just gotta,
It's not that you're interested. You're not interested, but you're like, I'm not gonna.
You just have to.
I'm
your
go-
priorities
if I-
change.
If I miss, I try to watch all the games.
Mhm.
If I miss a game, I'm not mad. If they lose, I'm not. I'm like, golly, man, I wish you're like frustrated like that, but you're busy. You have
It
a
is
kid.
hard with a baby too. Like yesterday, I was watching some NFL Red Zone, which I know people were shocked that I watched, but I was. And my daughter brought me a book to read her, and I can't be like, "Get out of here."
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I got to
Oh.
read the book.
What was the book? Harry Potter?
No. Those will never come in. But I don't know. I don't remember the book, but it was like, I got to read this to you.
Did you read it fast like the Red Zone guy?
Yeah. I mean, I zoomed through it.
Yeah.
Is it Goodnight Moon?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Mm.
We don't
Throw
speak
it,
to
play a
the
little
moon.
game of fetch. Yeah. Yeah. Goodbye, moon. I said goodbye to it a long time ago.
All right.
That's good.
All right. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. I think we covered soccer. World
Boom.
Cup. Check
Yep.
it out on no, I'm not we're promoting
You
it.
gotta plug
Yeah. Well, everybody airs on times of the whatever times.
it. Tune in.
Yeah.
to Cater,
Mm-hmm.
Qatar,
Gator.
or in Lebanon, Quatter. All right, we love you. Oh, are y'all going?
Can we plug some
Yeah,
shows?
I'm home this week. I'm going to the Vanderbilt, Tennessee game.
Vanderbilt,
but
Tennessee game. We'll be there. Come say hi.
January 6th, going to be in Washington, D.C. Me and Dusty are going to finish the job. We're going to finish what we started. No.
Count me out. I just want that to be on record. I will not be there.
No, January 6th, I'm going to be in Atlanta. ASW Whiskey Exchange. One night there. Come. Tickets on my website. Come see me and say hello.
Awesome. This weekend, Cap City Comedy Club in Austin, Texas. I'm doing the cabaret room there. Come and check it out. And then I got a bunch of shows coming up: Wichita, Indianapolis, Huntsville, Birmingham, and that's the end of the year. San Diego too. So come see me.
I got nothing this weekend, but December 13th, I got a show at Zany's, and then all my dates for the rest of the year on my website, dustyslade.com. Check it out. It's going to be great.
Yeah. All right. My stuff's all out. Australia, keep an eye out. Be in Huntsville next week at a arena, like a hockey arena.
Oh, that's cool.
I think it's
The Von Braun Center?
Yeah. Laura went to watch like a lot of concerts there and stuff.
That's
I just read that the new Indiana Jones movie that comes out next summer is going to be based on him to some degree.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nate?
No, Von
Wow.
Braun. He was
I feel like they would have called me.
Tennessee Jones.
I believe he was a German scientist, rocket scientist that
Yeah.
came to the
Warner
U.S.
Von
Yeah,
Braun?
yeah, very,
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
famous.
Dusty knows some stuff that
Yeah.
I don't even going to get into. But anyway,
Hi. If you don't do Indiana Jones about me, Nate Bargatze, you can either be with me or against me. You have 24 hours.
yeah.
All right. We love you. Bye. Nateland is produced by Nateland Productions and by me, Nate Bargatze, and my wife Laura on the All Things Comedy Network. Recording and editing for the show is done by Genovations Media. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week on the Nateland Podcast.